Where's the other one?
Right there. All set and ready to go. What a nice guy. Foamed and everything.
Yeah.
What a guy.
It's okay.
Wow. Just okay, huh?
It is okay. Oh my god.
Someone wants us to do a video on this whole process of soldering and making this connection and doing all that. So at some point we'll have to do that.
Yeah.
At some point.
First step. Grab 2 wires. Second step. Third step. No, that would be cool. Okay.
Yeah. Say hi to Oscar.
What's up, brother?
Oh, there's Aaron. Cough. There you go. Check the email. I have a question for you about a system. I probably won't, but I'll try. Elias, what's up?
Hey.
What are the loudest speakers? I don't know. Guess as good as mine. There's some pretty loud ones.
Yeah, wow.
Saw some really loud ones.
Elias sells the Ground Zero ones.
Yeah, they make some louds. Yeah.
And it was brought to you by Elias.
Mobile Dog, Big Dog. Hey.
Mobile Big Dog. Okay.
People need easier names. What's up? What's happening?
What's going on, guys?
Anyways, it's Monday. Is there a website I can go to where it shows the speaker wire diagrams for different makes and models? No, there is not.
The speaker?
No, wire colors?
Models.
No, that's not a thing. Unfortunately, wire colors, no. Speakers, yes. Like JBL has a good one that you can go to and see what size speakers are in cars. But as far as wiring goes, no, you're going to have to just do that the old-fashioned way. If you have a polarity checker, you can pretty much figure out any color wire that you need in the car, which we've showed you how to do a bunch of times, and we'll probably show you how to do that a bunch of times more. But you can head over to mobilesolutions.com and pick up the PT9A Plus. It's like $140. And with that one device, you can figure out any color pattern, color code, speaker polarity that you want. So whether it's an amplified system, a non-amplified system, whether you have the speaker, don't have the speaker, doesn't matter. With that one tool, you can figure out everything you need to know about wire coloring and speaker polarity. So good $140 to spend.
Definitely.
So that would be the website you want to go to. I got moreover Vertus in the front and rear with factory head unit. Would the audio control LC4 or the D4 be a good amp option? I would always go the D, which is the DSP version. The DSP will give you the ability to EQ those speakers and make them sound better. So, especially if you're dealing with a factory radio, having the ability to do something with that output is a pretty good idea. Deepest bass, shallow mount, 12-inch sub. Deepest bass, shallow mount, 12-inch sub. That's a tough one. I mean, obviously we use a ton of the Comp RTs.
Yeah.
That's like the affordable go-to, really nice, get her done. Rockford has the T1 shallows, which are really nice. ARC has their SW series speaker, which is their shallow mount. They have their new shallow mount, which if you caught the truck, if you caught the ARC Audio double feature video we did 2 weeks ago, one of those is in there. That was impressive.
Yeah. Oscar just did one. That was a Blam.
I've never heard those.
No?
Illusion has really nice
Illusion has one.
shallow mount drivers. But yeah, there you go. There's a bunch of them. No, that doesn't help, but there's no definitive answer for that. When you guys wire up the amp rack, how do you guys measure the amount of wire you need to run without having excessive feet left over? Good question. So what we do off camera is we have this right here, which is all our wire. You can see the shade. There's wire in the back. So it's 2 rows deep. All the wire that we have is located here. Most of it, as you can see, is primary wire. The blue is normally a big one, but we can only get a small one, which sucks. But black, red, blue are the 3 most used colors, so amp sells them in bigger spools. This is all Stinger wire. Anyways, what we do is the car is conveniently located right here. So we just, as you see, like this wire, as you see, it's just kind of like pulled off. Hasn't been rolled back on yet. So what we'll do is we just pull it into the car where it needs to go, and then we'll drape it in, you know, because the car's all apart, kind of tuck it where it is and wherever it needs to end up. So in this case, in this Mustang, it's going to end up here in this kick panel, maybe, but yeah, that's where the factory amplifier is. So we'll end up there in the kick panel. So what we'll do is we'll just drape it, and then once we get one run, we'll just pull as many runs as we need off of that master run. And usually they'll vary, obviously, you know, between 1 inch and 2 inches, but that's how we do it. Now this Mustang is getting our Focal Flax system that we do in this. So we make a custom bracket for the Focal Flax mid-range. Has the foam on the front, foam all around. This is the Focal Flax. Down here is our custom mount that we make with the fast ring already on it for the Focal Flax speaker. It has to be in tight to the door, guys. This is why we use these. So this mount here is specific for this, so that this speaker will go and not hit the door panel. The same here. This is a 1/4 inch lasered panel that we make. He's working on the back panels right now. They're the same way. So it's a 1/4 inch panel that we make. Here's the front one here. As you can see, it's shiny. It threads in so that we use M4 self-tap or M4 screws that go in, and we thread the plexi so that it'll go. The rear deck, same basic idea, same panel. We add in these little grooves for the speaker wire to come out. Mm-hmm. This one is so that this is going to be at the bottom of the door. This will come out and come through here. This is the rear deck, so it doesn't matter. This is just where the factory location is. So that'll come over and go out this side here. But that's how we do the wiring. What do you recommend for a sub? That's a vague question. The 12volt.com mentions wire colors. There you go. 12volt.com. So check that out. They do have 12volt.com isn't too bad. I've often gone on there before because they also have some weird harnesses available that you normally can't get because they were doing the same thing like a lot of these other companies like Spiral did, where they were buying European harnesses and whatnot. But yeah, 12volt.com. Crutchfield has wiring diagrams for certain cars if you buy something from their site. Yes, they'll often give you a schematic when you purchase stuff from them. Hello. You're doing karate, and I'm unfortunately doing home remodeling. It depends. You probably make more money than we do. Welcome back to the work life. Whoopee. Yay. Lots of fun. Not really. Which speakers you won't regret? Which speakers you won't regret having? I don't know. I don't think there's.
Do you regret not having?
Not having? I don't know.
I don't have. I don't have.
I don't know. I mean, I typically just get what I want when it comes to speakers. I mean, okay. I like a lot of speakers that I don't currently have, but I don't buy them because I don't have anything to put them in. So it's like kind of.
Oh yeah.
I bought an EduCar mobile app for my iPhone, but I can't get it to work with the USB to Lightning cable. It works over Bluetooth. Did you ever experience that?
No.
No. That's weird. Yeah, definitely make sure you have an actual Apple cable. The only time we ever ran into problems is it would work, but then if you'd hit the volume control, it would stop working. Some cars do that, like where it's really weird. As soon as you adjust the volume, like it's CarPlay, and as soon as you adjust the volume, it sees you're not in CarPlay and it kick the app out. But we've never not had it work. But we only use Apple cables. Like we only have the white Apple cables here. So, yeah. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for the old video remix last week. Nice stroll down memory lane, and I liked the fundamental vids. Oh, you're welcome. That was, I think that's gonna kind of be what we do for at least the foreseeable future. Anytime we're gonna be out of town or doing something where we can't put a video up, it's gonna be extended stay like that. Just because it was convenient. We still have a bunch more of those, so I just edited enough to fill in that block. Everyone seemed to enjoy them. So that's good. A lot of guys, didn't get the opportunity to view those the first go around. So, it was kind of nice to put those out, put them together, and make them easily searchable. So now it's like you could just search for an F-150 or a Ford Mustang. Yeah. And you'll get the one video that has the whole group of content. Can I use a coax 10 centimeter in the dash and a mid-base in the door Is it a good idea, like a three-way passive or active? Yeah, I mean, that's a wonderful idea. Passive or active is entirely up to you. If you go passive, most of the passives, which I don't have the top off of this Focal at the moment. Hold on. Because this is going to be a passive system in this car. But hang on, let me see if I can... Give me 1 second. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
What do you need?
I just need to pull the top off this to show the inside. It's only 2 screws. There we go. Pop the top. Perfect. Thank you. So we'll look at this Focal real quick. This is the Flax three-way passive. So it has your inputs here. And you have your woofer, your mid, and your tweet. Make sure you pay attention to the positive and negatives on here. Some of these will flip depending on the manufacturer. Your first dip switch here is going to be the attenuation for the tweeter. So this gives you the ability to control the volume of the tweeter. So you have 0 or -3. So if your tweeter is too loud, you can turn that down. And then over here, they have an attenuation for the mid bass, which is there again, 0 or -3. So this gives you the ability to do some in-house volume control. So if the tweeter is like right in your face and it's extremely loud, or if it's overpowering the mid-range, you can easily do this. Or if the mid-range is too loud, like in the case of this car, the mid-range right here, it might be too much, might pull away from the mid-bass. I could easily just turn the mid-bass down, leave the tweeter up. We don't really have to worry about this too much because we are going to be doing a DSP on this front stage, so we can go in and EQ the sound and get it the way we want it to sound when we're done. But this is also nice to do to get it out of the way. You can also do this if, let's say this was the driver's side and the passenger side. If the driver's side was just too loud altogether, you could turn both of these down, and that would automatically attenuate both the tweeter and the mid-range on that side, reducing their volume so that you could hear more out of the passenger side, thus bringing the center image over more into the center, as opposed to just sounding like everything is coming from this one corner of the car here. So something to think about. Most people don't ever take advantage of these switches. Most people don't even know they're in there. Some don't have them. Some passive crossovers don't have those. So there you go. T3W or Illusions. Well, there you go. That's his. Oh yeah, we forgot JL. Forgot the JL shell mounts.
The TW3s.
Yeah, TW3s. Thank you, Oscar. Yeah, those are really nice too.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. We don't sell them, but we do a decent amount of people bringing them in. Love it if you guys could show Maestro add-ons in action. Want to see? What do you mean by add-ons? You mean like?
When you flash it?
Yeah, I gotta know what you mean more by add-ons. You mean when we do like an RR2 kind of thing, or what? Yeah, if you could give me more on that, Johnny, that'd be great.
Go all the way down.
I'm working on it. I'm looking to see if you typed anything else. Sometimes it just gets kind of caught up when I have to talk. Fro, what's up? What low pass filter on a DSP do you recommend for a sub? I always start at 80 Hertz. Can you give us a tip on speaker amp wattage? Get a good combination between speaker efficiency and amp wattage. I mean, most 4-channel amps now are around 75 watts. So, you know, if you find something that's like efficient, it'll be louder. I mean, I don't know what you want. Hey, from Louisville, Kentucky, what's up? How do you open the plastic piece that runs along the floor in the Mustang beside the seat? I already took it out. Let me show you. Where is that? Hold on. Here it is. That's called the inside running board floor sill. So this is it here. It has a clip on the end. So what you do is you get your fingers in it and you lift it up because there's these 4 clips right here that hold it in place. But it's just going to come straight up. And if you're talking about an older Mustang, it has tape. So you got to kind of run your hand underneath there and remove the tape. It's kind of a pain. Don't peel the tape off because the tape will re-stick when you're done, but that's about it. Let's move down here. How do you turn off the engine sound from the speakers? Depends on the car. That's fake engine noise. It's a lot of different cars do a lot of different things. Can you do water or cooling amps install for us? We don't have any amps that need it. I'm putting front door speakers on my Accord. I got fast rings and kill mat sound deadening. Does the foam that goes behind the woofer stuck to the door or onto the kill mat? So if you're talking about the plug, so we got a fast ring right here. Hold on, let me flip this around. This is going to go into the back of the door. So you sometimes, like if you've watched Fernando do this in like a million videos, he cuts it to shape so that the window doesn't hit it. But this is designed to stick to the mat. So put your roadkill, your fast, whatever, put your sound treatment on, and then stick this to the sound treatment. And then the middle ring, sorry, which is
It goes like this.
yeah. So yeah, that'll be on the door, and then this will stick on it like that.
Right there.
And then this piece here is going to go inside the door with the sticky stuff coming into the door itself.
It's gonna go around here.
So it's gonna go like on the back side here. Yeah. Sometimes you put it into the car, but most of the time it goes into the car. So there you go. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. That was weird. I meant the part under that sill in the Mustang. Oh, it's a long piece under the clip-on panel. You route the wires through it. How do you get wires inside of it? You're talking about this piece. You're talking about this. So it bolts into place, and more than likely there is some panel clips inside of it. So it's very hard, and they're all very hard depending on that. But yeah, there's another 10 here. So my guess is this whole thing, yep, it unbolts. So the whole piece is going to come off, and it's going to unbolt and come out. But yeah, it's excessive. So they never make these things easy, guys. But yeah, so there's a 10 there. There's another panel clip there. Yeah, that's going up into it. So I mean, you got to kind of feel around. You can kind of get an idea of what is going on here. But there's no clips on the top of this anywhere. So that leads me to believe that. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, there's a clip there. Hold on. Yeah, so there's clips. There's tiny clips. And there's another clip there. All right, so sorry, I didn't mean to make it. So there's a clip here, and they're all long, and then there's another clip here. So the tool we would use to get to those, is we have two. You could use a flathead screwdriver, small flathead screwdriver, but we like to use this, some kind of a gasket thingy. So we'll use this. And we'll use a straight pick tool to get in there to make it, and then we'll ply this part and just do the whole trip down, and it takes forever. Show up to work on Monday. Pro tip of the day. I have 2000 GMC Terrain. Is there a harness kit that so I can add an amp? 2015. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked that car up. The only company that might make something for it could possibly be Metra.
Probably.
So I would check Metra to see if they list anything for that. You might be able to get into the DSP Lite that they make. Otherwise, no. But that would be the first place I would start, is there. Go to metraonline.com. I have a newer 2017 Mustang with base radio. Can I use the factory wiring without using the built-in crossover on the Rockford component? So is the LC 6100 good option? I want to add the center dash speaker. All right, so why do you want to add the center dash speaker? Would be my first question. Second question would be if you want to go active, which it sounded like you just said you want to go active without using built-in crossovers on Rockford components. All right, so that means active. All right, anytime you go active, that means you have a channel of amplification for each speaker and a means to cross them over. So if you want to go active on a set and it doesn't have the three-way set in the door, it has the two-way set in the door, then an LC 6100 has the ability to power 6 speakers. That's it. That's all it can do actively. It can't do 7 speakers. the center speaker, I don't know why you'd want to retain that for any reason. It doesn't do anything. You'll know, unless you're planning on getting some form of a DSP with an up mixer, or if you just want it to make sound. If you're just trying to go loud and make sound that comes out of the dash, then yeah, you could use it. But you're going to need a channel just to power that. It isn't made to just, like, you don't have an extra channel to run that. It's something we would never bother to do. Like in this car, we're not retaining the factory center channel at all, because we don't need it. We're going to use a DSP. So if we want to have a center image, we're going to use the time alignment and the DSP to do that for us. But yeah, that would be the only reason. So 2 reasons you'd do a center channel: if you're going to get some form of a DSP with an up mixer, or you just want it to be loud and just have sound coming out of every hole in the car. Now, if you have a 3-way set like this one does, like this one has the mid bass in the bottom of the door, the mid range, and the tweeter, well, then the 6 channels would only power this actively. But if it's just where you have the mid bass and the speaker up here in the door, so you have like the 8-inch woofer or just the 5x7 and tweeter. But yeah, so something to think about there. What's up? Hope you're having a great day. Not really. What should my Epicenter remote knob be set to when setting the amp gain? Okay, that's a wonderful question that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to setting maximum output for your system. An Epicenter is a weird device that does different things for different sounds it's playing. So it's a harmonic restoration device. So if you're playing something that doesn't have bass, it gives you bass. If you're playing something that has bass, it gives you way more bass. And anytime you do that, you run the risk of adding distortion into the sound. So like if you had it turned all the way down so that it's doing no effect whatsoever, and you set everything for 10 dBs of gain overlap, the problem you're going to run into is that once you do start to use it, if you're in that situation, that second one where you have a bass song that you're adding to add more bass to it, well, then you're going to cause way more distortion out of that amplifier if you're playing it at that same level, because you've set it to 10 dBs of gain overlap. That's 10 dBs of distortion. If you don't understand that, I don't know if that fundamental video is up yet, but we talk about that on the fundamentals over on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. Well, now you could have up to 20 dBs of distortion because you could be adding that much more distortion into it. So it's one of those things where, set your subwoofer level control all the way up. Maybe go to 5 dBs of gain overlap instead of 10, because you're going to get more distortion once you start turning that thing up. So trying to max out the system per se and use all the cool tools that we have is going to be difficult, and it is difficult with an Epicenter. It's one of those things where your ears are going to have to work, because sometimes it's going to be great and you won't have any problems, and other times it's not. So I don't have like you have to do this type of recommendation for you. The only thing I can say is you just have to pay attention to it, and you have to be careful. And if you're one of those guys that is just trying to do things like by the book, where it's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have it at 10 dB, I'm going to have that, it's not going to work out in the end. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, you're going to have to do it old school, and you're going to have to listen, and you're going to have to be like, nope, that's too much, turn it down. Do y'all ever run capacitors in a system? If you're talking about like a power capacitor, no, I don't particularly like them too much. I don't feel like anyone makes one worth a crap anymore. For the most part, they're just cool voltmeters. So it's a spray paint can with a voltmeter on top. They don't really do much anymore. The good capacitors of the 90s, the 20 volt capacitors and stuff like that, they're not around. Everything now is cheap. If you're looking at like the capacitor banks or the hybrid capacitor banks that they make, those actually do something. Those are kind of nice, but just a straight capacitor is kind of useless. Watching you while waiting 75 minutes in line at Disney in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, it's a good time. It's nice and hot. Woo! Kids keep getting bumped into. Zen or Mobridge? Ooh. So Mobridge now has their Zen A to B. I'm sorry, their A to B. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. So I would like to use a Mobridge personally, just because I want to test it out and play with it and see how well they did. So we know the Zen A to B works fine, and we know it does exactly what it needs to do. We know, and when it comes to like the German cars, we know both of them work. I just want to try the A to B. So,
yeah.
I mean, personally for me, I'd want to try them over at J to B just to see how it works.
Yeah.
But that's me. Running excellent 6x9 3.5 components. Should I replace the 3.5s in the dash with the high-end tweeter? Yeah. I mean, well, okay. I mean, it depends what you're trying to do, I guess. Running the 6x9 3.5 components. Should I replace the 3.5 with a high-end tweeter? No. Okay, so now that I'm thinking about that, no. No. I would... Okay. I say no only because the system, if you're trying to build a system that is around that performance level, then you're not going to find a tweeter that's going to perform like that 3.5-inch coaxial is going to do for a reasonable amount of money. You're going to spend more on that 3.5-inch or that high-end tweeter than you do for the whole set. I just don't see it as a value proposition. Yeah, I would just leave it alone and let it rock out. I mean, we've done some pretty nice systems with those, and I like them. I mean, that's our go-to 3.5, unless you got $750, in which case you're going with the Illusions. What's up, guys? Glad you're back safely. And Nando had a great week with his family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything more better. Oh, gosh, that was harsh. 2020 counter country, 5 1/4 in dash, 5x7s in the door, 6x9s in the rear. Any speaker combo references? I was thinking Sony 3-way up front. Yeah, that 5 1/4 up in the dash.
Yeah.
Go for it. 3-way. I mean, if you just want a nice, loud, full sounding town and country, replace all the speakers. Sony makes a nice speaker. Put it in there. Rock on. If you want it to sound a little better, obviously put some form of power on it. It'd sound even better because it's 6 speakers, so that is going to be hard for radio. So something like Kicker Key or 455A from Alpine or something small along those lines, like Kenwood has their little 4-channel amp. Some form of a small 4-channel to put on, let's say, those front 4 speakers just to get them up and running would be a great idea. Alpine also has their cool little new brick amp too. I can't think of the name. Is AB better than Class D? Man, that is a question that people are going to ask forever.
And never.
And ever.
And ever.
And ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, most people, and I preface that as most people, so everyone breathe, aren't going to be able to tell the difference between a Class A, B, and a Class D. A high-end Class D. I'm not talking about that entry-level $150 Class D crap. I'm talking about, nice Class D stuff. Like here is one of the best Class Ds ever made, which is the Alpine.
PDX V9.
Yeah, the V9. Badass Class D amplifier. We installed hundreds of these things in its day, and I can tell you right now, there isn't one person out there that sat in the car and said, "Oh, this isn't a Class AB?" Oh,
yeah.
No. So when you're comparing the level of quality. Like, if you buy a cheap D, yeah, you're probably going to be like, oh, that sounds like crap. You buy a high-end Class D, you're probably like, I don't know, I can't tell the difference. But if you're an AB guy, if you like AB amplifiers and you want to get an AB amplifier that is nice, not cheap crap, but also semi-affordable, check out the Morel 4-channel Class AB amplifier. They make a 5-channel too, which has a Class AB 4-channel and a Class D sub-amp inside of it. Reasonably priced. It's like 75 watts by 4, which is what you're typically going to find in an AB class amplifier unless it's the size of a surfboard. Because remember, they are bigger, a lot bigger. They generate a lot more heat. They're not as efficient as a Class D. Anyways, so something to think about. Yeah. Rockford also still makes some Class AB amplifiers as well. Is there a big difference in SQ between a 2-way and a 3-way component? If you really want the answer to that, like if you want a great conversation about that, go watch the ARC video we just did, the double feature ARC video that had the pickup truck and the Challenger, because that is one of the things we talk about in that video. And if you want an answer from the guy, the expert, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Mitchell, that we really kind of hit home in that. But yeah, you'll get the idea. When installing both the kicker key amp on a factory deck, is it okay to split the front outputs on the deck to go to both inputs on the key amps? So I'm guessing if you're running a key, let's say 204 and the 501, and you're going to run the 204 as a front stage upgrade, meaning you're just going to run it on a set of tweeters, a set of mid bass. So really all you need is the front outputs from the radio. Then you have the key 500.1. What do? Yes, you tap into the two front speakers, both left and right, and you use those to power the inputs on everything. So that's going to power the inputs for the 500.1. It's going to power the inputs for the 402. You don't want to use the rears. You don't want to use the rears to power the sub amp. Why, you ask? Because like everyone's like, why wouldn't I want to do that? Well, because most factory systems are actively crossed over now. So the rear, even though it's in the rear and you'd think, oh, that's going to be my bass driver. No, it's not. The front doors are the bass drivers. They put the bass up front as far as they can because that's where you're sitting. So like even in cars that have 6x9 and subwoofers, like a Chrysler, that rear speaker is actually crossed over higher than the front door. So if you grab that for your subwoofer and you're like, man, my bass sucks, you grab the wrong speaker. You have to grab the front door. Yeah. So yeah, anytime we do one of those combo packs that you see where we put the two keys in, we're tapping off just the front speakers. There's a switch on the side of the 204 that says inputs 2-channel or something along those lines. You flick that switch, it knows to accept inputs 1 and 2 only, and then your white and gray are going to be tweeters, and your purple and green are going to be the mid bass.
What's up?
The tweeters would have to be, I'll play as low as a 3.5. Well, yeah, and there again, that kind of defeats the cost purpose, like Jason. I mean, you know that. I mean, you're looking at a really expensive set of tweeters. All right, I'm going to fast forward here. Yes, you're back. Yes, we're back. Listen to Apple Spatial Audio on the home theater through the Apple TV. It's true surround audio. I was playing with my Apple TV last night, making sure all that stuff was turned on. But yeah, I haven't really had time to do it. I did get the opportunity, because we were in the car for so many hours, and I brought the German Maestro headphones with me. Mm-hmm. So I took the German Maestro headphones, and I played them through my Dragonfly DAC that I have, just so that I could get the digital out of them into that and get the cleanest thing. The only problem I ran into is I only had a handful of songs that were CD quality because I haven't gone ahead and updated them. But I figured I'd just listen to. I had all the Iasca stuff in my Dropbox, so I listened to a bunch of that. It's a very neutral set of headphones. Have you had a chance to listen to them yet?
I did.
Very neutral. Did you A/B between those and the Alpines?
No.
I would be curious to do that just because I feel like the Alpines. I think if you listen to the Alpines first, you'll be like, oh, wow. And then you'll put those on, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. And then you'll put the out, and you'll be like, oh, wow. Because there's no bass response whatsoever on
No,
it.
it's not. But
it's very, very mid-range, very, 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 very neutral sounding. Everything is very level through playback. Yeah, it was weird.
No, but they sound good.
Oh, yeah.
But I was playing and just playing different songs and everything, and you can like.
Yeah, they're definitely something you can put on and not have to take them off and worry about your ears being fatigued at all, because there's no fatigue coming from them at all. And my biggest complaint was I wanted just a little bit more bottom end out of them, but that's not what they're made for.
No,
they're made to play.
I was waiting for that bass and then it's like, okay, no.
Yeah, but that wasn't that's not their goal. So I mean, that was the only bummer. But there again, it's not what they're made for. They're not made to quad on down. They're made to give a very vocal, like they're made to have a very good sound reproduction. They're also very narrow as far as like they're very close to your head. They're not out wide, which I thought was all right. I figured they'd be a little wider, but then I looked at it's a closed back, so I was like, no. Plus they're really close into your ear. They don't come off really deep, so you're gonna lose. So it's like if you're trying to like put those on and hear like center voice here and whatnot. Yeah, it's a great headphone for that. Yeah. I could see where it would be a good reference headphone for what they're used for.
Yeah, but really vocal.
I just need to wear them now when I'm not in a car, listening to road noise in a car. But they did do a really good job of, just because they were real tight on your head, of isolating out the noise. So I did like it for that.
Yeah.
All right, sorry guys, went on a tangent there. All right, hold on. I'm going to run 7 amps total. 2 kicker, big 1800s for subs, 3 LC 4.800s, and my mids, 2, 6, okay. For my super tweeters, is it possible to run 2 separate DSPs in my vehicle? I have a DM608, a DM810. I feel like I've read this question before. Or in something on Facebook or somewhere. Yes. Okay, you can run as many DSPs as you want. You can, it sounds to me like, yes, there's no reason why you couldn't. Because keep in mind, at the end of the day, a DSP is no more than a few components in one box. So think of it as the ultimate TV VCR combination, or DVD combination, however old you are, you insert that. All right, so the core of what you're trying to do is you need a crossover for one for every, you're going way full active on all your speakers. So you need crossovers for all those channels. Those 2 DSPs together will give you that. So you can do as much crossovering as you want. Then you'll have independent level control. So you'll be able to do a little bit better mixing from the DSP. So like if you set your gains all up to, let's say, -5 dB or -10 dB, whatever it is, you can then, if something is too loud, you can just go into the DSP and turn everything down, or leave it at 0 in the DSP, or set everything at -5 or 0 dB. Well, I do -5, maybe gain up a little bit. You'll have the ability to do equalization. So along with that, if your tweeters, if they're too bright, you can go in and easily turn all your tweeters down, turn your mids up. So yeah, where it becomes difficult, and I only mean that because you're going to need a pad of paper, is when you're doing your time alignment, if you decide to do that. Now, if you don't decide to do any time alignment, then it really doesn't matter. Then you don't have, and you don't have to. You don't have to. You can just simply use the equalization, and you can use the crossover. So yeah, there's no reason why you can't use both. I mean, people used to run EQLs out the wazoo and passive crossovers. I mean, hell, when Orion was a thing, you had to run 2 active crossovers together to get a 4-way electronic crossover. So I know someone had said in that, and the comment I read on that was that you could just Y out the outputs. But the reason I was kind of like, I mean, if you have them both, there's no reason not to use them. The only downside is like you're going to have to log out of one and log into the other. So that's the bummer in all of it. But there again, you take notes, you write stuff down. But yeah, no, I see no reason why what you're trying to do, the 2 don't make perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that works for me. Did Fernando try and get that Challenger, the car he loves, with awesome stereo? I was surprised those ARCs weren't way more expensive with all their championship wins. Right? So there you go. Someone actually went and checked. You never got a chance to go into the Challenger. No. So what okay, this is what, so part of the video that got cut out was that day Brian was having a problem with his eye, and I think one of the jokes got left in about it, but he ended up with a really bad eye allergy. Like, he ended up in the hospital here on Monday to get a shot because it just got to the point where it was just pouring out of his face. So what had happened was, after we shot the truck video, he went to his room and passed out because he just had to get out of there. So there was something in that. Once he went outside, he was fine, but once he came back in, it just went crazy on him. So there was something in there that was just, he was on Zyrtec and all that other crap, so we have no idea what it was. But so once he was gone, they locked the car and there was no playing it. So that next morning when we came in to do the car, he was feeling better, but that's why we shot right in the morning, because I don't think he made it the whole day. But yeah, so Fernando never got a chance. But he's feeling better now, so that's all that matters.
At some point, I'm going to try.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be in Dallas. It might be in Dallas. Because, I mean, it might be in Dallas. Because right now, it's sitting at Will's house. So...
Will's house?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because he left them both here. Because I don't know. Yeah, they might... I don't know. They might be in Dallas. Because he basically just leaves them parked all over the U.S., depending on where he's going to be. So he doesn't have to drive them all the way back to California and then back out again. So... yeah, he's got more than one car. Any thoughts on the JLC1? Want to go with them, but concerned about having been rated for 50 watts RMS. The RMS rating doesn't mean crap, okay? So here's the thing. RMS ratings are put on there because most people just don't get they don't get the whole thing, which is understandable because, let's be honest, it's confusing as hell. The efficiency rating is really kind of what you want to look at, and also what you're trying to get out of them. So it's a C1, means it's a fairly inexpensive driver from JL. It's their entry-level driver, which means it's not going to blast you out of the car. If you're trying to put 150 watts to it, it's the wrong speaker for the job. It's not what it's made for. It's made for somebody that wants to get like a 50 to 75 watt by 4 amplifier. It's efficient. Okay, that's a number you want to look at, meaning it's going to do a lot of sound with that small amount of power. It could be almost as loud as a 100-watt system with speakers that aren't as efficient, okay? The other thing, too, is when you're looking at that number and you're looking at that efficiency and you give it that amount of power, meaning that 50 to 75 watts, you're still going to get a ton of sound out of it because it's efficient, but you also have to look at that crossover point as far as how low are you going to be able to cross that mid-bass over. You might not get it down to 80 hertz successfully because it's got a small basket, small magnet. If you try to put a lot of power to it, you're definitely going to have to bump up that crossover point because it's not made to move a ton. So, going with the 50 to 75 watts, you could probably get it down to that 80 hertz, 12 dB crossover point and get a good amount of sound out of it. So you just sometimes have to not listen to everyone else talking their hype. And just be okay with, like, it's 50 watts, put a 50 watt amp on it, and you're going to be happy.
I mean, it's funny, but 50 watts is a lot.
Well, Oscar says C1s are great speakers. They can get pretty loud with almost no power, and you get decent mid-bass out of them. And that's what I was talking about. If you give them their 50 watts of, instead of buying, all right, so I ran full integration with my last car, GM 8605. It was like 80 watts RMS, and it looked for about the same sound loudness. Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, those are both very efficient. Yes, you're okay. That's a good combination. But yeah, a lot of people just get caught up and they're like, I need 200 watts. My speakers have to handle 200 watts. And it's like, no, they don't. I mean,
speaker that's like 400 watts RMS.
Listen, nothing makes me laugh more than the guy that's like, I need a set of 200 watt tweeters. You're never going to put 200 watts on that tweeter. It's just not going to. Even if you put a 200 watt amp on them, you're never going to have 200 watts.
Mm-hmm.
Fire on fire, huh? Jesus.
Oh, dude.
I know. Yeah, it's fire on fire. Is there any way to change the factory Fender amplifier at my VW to an aftermarket amp? I was told you can't because it runs with optical. I think you're right on that one. I don't know if it's optical or if it's... yeah, at the moment... Well, it depends on the Fender system. Some of those...
What year?
All right, so here's what you want to do. You don't necessarily need to replace the amplifier. I believe you can reprogram the radio. So I would suggest going over to the VW forums because there is just like Ford has ForScan software, there's a similar product for the VWs. And I know on some of the older ones, you can go in and you can reprogram the radio to basic. And once you do that, then it's just a standard high-level output that you can go into any amplifier. So it basically turns off that output. I don't know if you can do that in yours, but I'm sure a little bit of research into that, you'll be okay. Nano, there's a bug on your head.
That's why I did that.
Have any C1s in stock? I'm in Lakeland. No, we don't. We're not a JL dealer. We don't stock them. We're not. But yeah, good luck. JL is right now because of COVID. They're out of everything. They don't have nothing. A lot of so that's the thing you got to understand. We could talk about that for a second. One of the problems you run into as a manufacturer, especially during COVID, is buying the right amount of product and paying the prices that are being asked to pay right now, because you can't just call up an order for today or for next month. You're ordering parts for the next 2 years in some cases. And what you run into is what the prices are now aren't necessarily what they're going to be in a year and a half from now. So if you buy a product right now that isn't going to ship for another 3 to 6 months, and it costs you $90, whereas in the past it may have cost you $45. That's how much the markup can be on some of these things right now. So now you get that product at $90. By the time you get that product in your warehouse, the price of that product has already decreased, could possibly decrease down to $60. But you paid $90 for it because you had to buy them in advance. But now your next order, they'll be $60. So what do you end up doing with all this money that so you either have to eat it or not. And we've had a conversation with a lot of these manufacturers, and they're walking a very fine line between blowing their wad just to keep product in the marketplace and also stay profitable. So that's the name of the game. And some are doing better than others, and some are willing to take the hit. It just comes down to what's going on. Can I run 75 RMS to drive a 60-watt speaker safely? Yes, you can. Keep in mind, it's not the power that's going to blow the speaker, it's the distortion that's going to blow the speaker. So if you have your gain structure set up properly, your crossover set up properly, your EQ set up properly, it's not going to blow them. And I tell you right now, anybody can hear a speaker that doesn't sound right, sit in a car and be like, that doesn't sound good. Speakers aren't playing perfect sound and then just go die. No, they're playing you can hear a speaker when it's going stop. But people don't, and that's how you blow a speaker. Okay, that's it. So, yeah, trust me, we run way more power than what speakers are recommended. I think these are recommended for 75 watts. We're going to be putting 120 to them.
Yeah, 125.
So, yeah, it took me about a month to get my Kenwood Exelon 10.1 screen. That's not bad, a month. Ooh, that's pretty good actually. In some cases. Like there's been guys that haven't had those at all. So. I know. Some stores are carrying brands they wouldn't normally, only because they need something to sell. Yeah. No more Teams is better than yours. Exactly. This was a great time for a lot of companies that people weren't considering. Yeah. But they had inventory, so people bought them, and now that they've heard those speakers and seen how these things work, I feel a lot of these smaller companies that had inventory going into this are going to do really well on the flip side, because they've gotten in the hands of people that they normally wouldn't get into, and they see, in some cases, they see the quality and how good they are and how nice they sound and how well they perform. And in other cases, they don't. Other cases, it's just garbage. But I think it's going to work out really well for a lot of companies that, on the flip side of this, they're just going to be like, hey, man, we liked your stuff. Can we get more? Because they'll look at it like the big guy that they've been doing business with, wasn't there for them. In some cases, they won't. Some people are just stupid, and they just like, we got this stuff back in stock. Yay, rock and roll. Yeah. It's like, you're dumb. But that's okay.
This one, that was the one I was looking, and
What's that?
I might have missed this one, but you want to use the Kicker 500 to run the ground zero sub in Haley's car? I think we're gonna change that.
Okay. So there's a lot of things we want to change in that car. But right now, yes, that will probably be the amplifier that's going to go in there to run it. But that's not the amplifier that's going to stay in there to run it. So no, it's just she's going to be getting a new head unit. Once she gets that, that's going to open the doors for a lot of different things that we have planned to do. It's just right now we just want to kind of get caught up on some of the other garbage we have to get through. And once we're done with that, then, and I say garbage just as, and it's just this constant stuff that stacks up in my head of things we need to get done. But yeah, so no, we're going to put way more power to it. We ordered some stuff at the beginning of the year, and we got part of the order last week. I know, right? Yay! Yeah, it's definitely crazy. So I'm running two DM608s and DM810. Can I run two Epicenters? I have two separate sub-enclosures holding 4/8, each in enclosures. If so, what would I need to connect both DSPs and both Epicenters? Ooh, man, that is a good question. I don't have an answer for that. Okay, here's what I would do for that. I would definitely give Audio Control a call if you haven't already. You may be able to split the volume, the effects knob that they have. may be able to because that's really where you want to be, is you want to make sure that the dials on the top of the amplifiers are accurate, and then have the effects knob for both wired in. So I would give them a call and find out if you can run more than one Epicenter into the single volume controller.
Wow.
Because okay, so if I'm thinking this through properly, if you have both DSPs set up identically the same as far as the sub is concerned, okay, so that's easy enough to do because it's all digital, so it's literally just plugging numbers into a computer. Okay, so as long as those two numbers match, now you play a tone and see what one Epicenter is doing, and you can play that, and then you just work the dials on the other Epicenter until it matches, because it's not going to be far off. Okay, then if you can use more than one, if you can do more than one with the knob, then it's just a matter of getting that splitter, the phone cord splitter, and just putting it up front, and it should control both. So I mean, to me, logically, it seems like it could be done. It's just a matter of how many Epicenters can you control from that one knob. If you can, then that would be how that would be how I would approach it. I could be wrong, because I've never done it, but
yeah,
thinking out loud, that would be how I'd approach that. But hey, listen, tonight is Monday, so that means at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be answering more of your questions. So save them if you didn't get answered here. Tune in tonight on Facebook, and you can ask them there. We'll be able to ask your questions. We won't have a fundamental tonight because I didn't prepare one because of the whole vacation things. But don't worry, we'll get back to that next week. If you haven't caught any of the fundamentals, head over to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips, where we've put previous fundamentals are going up every day. Until I think like the 24th or 25th. So there's new ones posted, or the previous ones will be posted there. Found it?
I found it.
Ooh. All right, hang on. Let me give you a hand. Hang on. All right, we'll just do this.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, well, yeah, let me give you a hand. It's heavy. Go to that side?
Yes.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to
Wirepalooza. You gotta watch your hand. All right, cool.
All right.
Is that all the colors before we slide it back in?
Yeah, it's all the colors.
Just all the colors?
All of them.
Okay, perfect. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the show. Welcome to 5 Minutes of 5 Star. Today we finished up the Mustang, came in this morning, banged it out. We just had the tune left to do. We were actually here a couple hour late last night just to get it done. I like to come in early in the morning and tune it first thing, so my head's the most clearest, although right now it's not. Coming back to work, change of scenery, kind of, yeah. Anyways, we have like 10 minutes between cars. We just showed up. So what we're doing is, one of the things that since we've gotten the laser, the problem we've run into is that all the pieces of acrylic are good. I mean, even like this one that has all this chewed out of it, all this stuff is great for like logos and switch panels. As you can see here, like all those were just like USB ports. So you don't want to throw anything away, because like this could still make a dozen USB ports. So what you end up with is just a ton of half-used or three-quarter-used sheets, and they just pile up, and it's been kind of like driving me nuts, and Fernando equally. So today, one of the things we wanted to get done was these two drawers here. This one is just held these two security blankets that we have for when we have to take like bumpers and parts of cars off, or convertible Corvettes and stuff like that. So we lay this stuff down on the floor so they don't obviously get scratched. So those were stored in there, along with, like, I had a sandblaster from years ago that we don't really use. And then some random, like, old tools, like, pack rat. Like, I had my old Hitachi right angle. It doesn't work anymore. Don't even have a battery. This is a a Milwaukee that died, and yeah, I'm sure they have a lifetime warranty or a 3-year warranty. Either way, it's like 5 years old, so they don't make that one anymore. So, you know, you keep it thinking you'll need it for parts, and yeah, so anyways. And then like these, you know, they supposedly have a lifetime warranty, but, you know, there's no way for them to actually honor that lifetime warranty, because you take them back to where you got them and they go, oh no, you gotta, you know, because you walk in with 5 pairs of them and they just kind of give you shit. So I'm tired of holding on to this crap in hopes that one day someone will be nice enough to actually warranty out their crappy tools. So they go into the trash today, and along with like we had like a bin of screws. It's like random ass screws that just need to go away. This drawer, this cabinet is also filled with random crap. So the plan is over the next couple days is to go through here and just clean these out. I could probably fit another shelf in here, which I think we might have some wood to do that in storage. So that would be cool, because then I'd have 2 rows for the acrylic, and just kind of move stuff along, get it out of the way so it doesn't look like crap. But that's the thing, you know, you constantly have to move stuff around, and, you know, these shelves are cool, and that cleaned up a lot of the clutter that was piling up over there, and fortunately that hasn't grown back, which is usually what happens when you move something. Eventually it'll grow back, and it's like, oh god, you know, it drives me crazy. But yeah, that's it. That's what's happening here. But let's take a look at the Mustang, because that's done. And if you were here right when we started, you saw a quick look at it. So this got a set of Focal Flax 3-way set. So the Mustang, their Ford is nice enough, which is why I bought one, to put a 6, a 2 3/4, and a tweeter here. On Monday, we showed you what that all looks like. If you didn't, check it out. The pieces we make for that. But so the speakers are in. Kept the factory radios. You can see the pony right there. The bass knob, for those of you that are curious, just goes right here underneath the little AC sensing fan. So it fits here really nice, out of the way. And then in the trunk, this got connected through AR. So at the moment, Audio Control doesn't have an AR capable amplifier. It's still development. So we use the DSR1 to get AR, meaning retain that factory radio, get our 4 volts, get our clean signal, non-EQ'd, and then make sure all the sensors go where they need to go. So we're using this as our DSP. This is our amplifier. He has 2 P210s and a Zen audio enclosure that tucks right up in there and, you know, fits in nice and snug. This wire right here, this is the lone wire. All the wires go back. Like you can see, the power wire comes along here. There's a factory ground right here that we use. We also, because this is mounted in the trunk, iData, for those of you curious, iData makes the AEX4, which is a 4-meter extension cable, because it normally would go up here in the kick, but because we did a through-way passive set, we built, let me grab a flashlight, we built a bracket instead of putting the DSR1 there, which I'm not a fan of because I hate having to jam it in there. There is room, but then you got to deal with the RCAs. We made a bracket, and then we were able to put the passive crossovers in where the factory amplifier went, and of course retain the factory. You can see the bolt there. That holds that all in place. That way we didn't have to run a bunch of speaker wires, because all the factory wiring is right there for the components. The only thing you do have to run is a set of tweeter wires, because in the factory, this mid-range and tweeter are on the same channel. And running tweeter wires is definitely the lesser of 2 evils. So the factory wire can power the mid-range, mid-bass, run a set of wires up. So with the passive crossovers here, we just have to run a wire up this way and then one over and across the dash to that tweeter. It's super simple. In the rear, the amps are going in the trunk, so there's no reason to run the wires all the way up front here for this type of a system. So we made a connection point back here in this area we just ran our own speaker wires, and I ran a purple and green wire up to those and attached them in. So really limited the amount of wiring that needs to be run. The nice thing about the AEXT4 is that it comes pre-loomed. It's a nice bundle. It has a male and female end on it. It easily relocates the DSR1. They make the 2, which is a 2 meter, and they make the 4, which is a 4 meter. So in this case, we're able to move the DSR1 back here. So you can see the same if you ever put a DSR1 in. So the remote turn-on's back here, super nice, convenient. The wire, when you run a wire in a Mustang, because of a box, so this wire, as I was getting at, this is just a base knob wire because, for one, it's super thin. There's these grooves here that it can go into. So the tape is there just to keep it in place and not let it move around. So it goes into that groove over and attaches to the frame rail here and goes forward, because if we were to run it the way we run all our other wires, which is to the back of the car, into the corner of the car, across the factory wiring harness, and then forward, that adds an extra 3 feet. So 4 meters got from right there all that way to just this area right here. Like the factory wiring is right here behind the hood latch, so it's right there. So that's 4 meters. The base knob would not reach where we wanted to put it if we were to run it that way. So conveniently, it's that nice thin phone cable, and Ford provides us with these grooves. As you can see on this side, see how the groove turns and goes forward. So that makes a nice area to run just the base knob, but everything else, you add that extra length and goes forward. The battery is located on this side of the car. You pull the battery out, you remove the whole tray. There's a grommet underneath there. You're good to go. You can put, so you keep that run as short as possible, and then it comes back. But the best thing to do in one of these, because even if you come up this way, this is all solid metal all the way across, so even going that way just is not a functioning option if you're planning on putting anything in the trunk. It just makes more sense to go to the back. Now, you can see those blue lights are on. That means this is awake. Doesn't necessarily mean it's on. What I mean by awake is because we've been opening and closing the doors, turning it on and off. Even though this is AR, just like the Zen piece, it senses what you're doing and starts to boot up the car in the background. So in this case, even though the radio screen is not on, this car is ready to go. So as soon as you hit start, that screen will power up and your audio will start playing. And that is because it knows you've opened the trunk, it knows you've opened the door, and it starts getting things going. If it sits here, it's gonna just shut back off because it realizes, hey, you're not starting me up. I've waited my 3 minutes. You're not doing anything. You're just annoying me. Boom, I'm gonna shut back down. If you open another door, then it'll say, oh, are we ready to go now? So a lot of people get nervous about this. DC offset works the same way. It's just the car. These things there's so many things happening in these cars now. They have to, just like, when lightning hits in your house or your power goes out and your computer's got to boot back up and you got to sit there and wait, and you just get annoyed. They're trying to eliminate the annoyance that you have in these modern cars. Hey, from Australia. So what we have is DSR1, 6-channel, 5-channel front rear sub going into here. One of the things, pro tip of the day, the thing that irritates me the most, and it's not necessarily the DSR1, it's anything that has an RCA pigtail. The RCAs, you have like 8 RCAs and they're all the same length, and there's no way to do those pretty. Like the Rockford Fosgate T-Series amplifiers have that, and it drives me nuts. That's why we just cut them off, make our own. This one would be way too difficult to do that. And I just don't want to have a bundle of RCAs sitting up here. So what's cool about this installation is the way this amp board is made. This is all one piece, and we've shaved the bottom of the foam here so that it rests on. So if I pull this off, I'll do this, and I'll get to what I'm getting to in a second. So we'll unscrew this and remove it. And as you can see on the bottom here, we've kind of shaved it and made notches in it. Do that with a hot knife. But this is fit into that factory piece. So this is all held in place from this, and then when the foam goes onto it, that's what this outline here is. This locks it all. The one thing that we found out when I was doing it, I was going to the center here. The center is not threaded. This is threaded, this is threaded. So we had to add an M6 rivet here so that we could screw it into the center the way I was building it. Because I didn't want to have to cut an extra, I wanted symmetry. Symmetry looks the best. Obviously bounce left, right. But as you can see here, there's a dip. So this is sitting on top of here. There's a good inch of space in this ravine area. So you can see I can put my hand underneath there, which makes a perfect area to put these RCAs. So you can see there's a hole here. And what happens is these come in this way, these go in that way, and then underneath this whole panel there's an array of RCAs where they're all fastened onto the back of the amp board. And what I do is I put 1/2 inch shrink wrap. So we take the big shrink wrap here and we put it over the ends of the RCAs, so we don't ever have to worry about them pulling apart, coming apart. So we shrink wrap just like we put color coded here. We shrink wrap the RCAs all together. We cap off the 2 in this case that aren't being used because we don't want it tapping against this. And then they're fastened on there, and now it gives it a much cleaner look, and I don't have 10 RCAs just right here going, look at me, I suck. So that's there you go. That's a secret, a very basic idea to hide those ugly RCAs if you don't want to see them, but you want to build a nice amp rack that is uniform with the car. This thing just goes back in like this. Line it up on that hole, screw tab, put it in, get it all there. Oh, see the light just went out. See now it's going, it turned on and off. It's because it just shut down and then realized the trunk was still open, so it woke back up when it did that. Line that up, screw it down, I'll do it later, and you'll be all set. But there you go, that's what's happening here in the trunk. Any good questions?
Are you happy with the outcome of all of the audio control 5-channel amplifiers?
Am I happy with the outcome? I feel anytime, yes. The answer to that would, oh, what happened there? The answer to that would be yes. But the caveat onto that would be with any amplifier that you choose to go with, is it has to be put into the right situation. So for example, this 5-channel amp on this stereo, this is about the most we would ever put on that 5-channel amplifier. This is a lot of stuff coming off of that 5-channel amp. This would definitely not work if we were doing like a set of K2 3.5s. I mean, I would have split the 2 amps apart just because I feel we would have needed more power for the subwoofer. Anytime you pick a 5-channel amplifier, there's always that balance you have to find between how much power you want to put to your highs and how much power you want to put to your subwoofer. I like their 5-channel amplifier. I like the combination of power they have. You know, Fernando's still running this the beta they sent us in his car. It's a nice amplifier. The thing I like about the D is that you can do a lot with it. In this case, obviously we couldn't use the D, bummer there. But yeah, I'm happy with what that is doing. Is the D 4.800 and the LC 1.800 still my go-to? Yeah, because that gives me 800 watts for the subwoofer. And it splits those 2 power supplies. So I have a dedicated power supply for the sub, dedicated power supply for the mids and highs. Most of those systems are really, really loud systems that we're doing. So having that extra oomph there is nice. But in this case, this is a nice normal system that we would do. This amplifier is taking the place of the Q-Class 1005 for us. It's a little bit more power, which is nice because that was only like 70 by 4. This is 100 by 4. Sub-wise, it's about the same amount of power. So this came in at the right time because we had like a 2 or 3 month period there where the 1005 didn't exist anymore and we had sold out of them. And so it was scramble to find that. So I feel anytime you choose amplifiers, you have to have that balance. What else you got?
Who made your face avatars for your live Q&A?
Fernando. Fernando made those. We use an app. Do you remember what it's called? Art text. It's called Art Text. And so all the fonts and all the logos and all that are made in this thing called Art Text. It's an Apple desktop app. It's like $20, but it allows you to do it. They just create a bunch of cool fonts that you can use. So you just pick and choose, and then there's a real basic shape editor in it. And so we were able to go in and kind of manipulate their basic logo they had to kind of look like our faces.
Right. Have you ever had a high-level input on a factory radio kick your butt? Mine it is.
Believe it or not, it was in a Mustang. Same first year of this.
Time, yeah.
We did one and it went flawlessly, and we went to do a second one and it ended tragically. And fortunately at the time, it was right when the DSR1 software and harness came out for the Mustang. I wasn't aware of it, so when we quoted the job, it hadn't existed. Paul fortunately had gotten it in, but I mean, we spent like 4 hours just screwing with this system. In the end, to just pull it out and do basically what we did here, where we went with the DSR1 and a non-DSP'd amplifier. And at that point, it was great. But obviously, that was a joy. Other times, we run into situations with load resistors. Like we had a truck that it was a new truck, and we put the load resistors in, and it worked fine, but it wasn't enough of a load. So we had put the blues in, the LGD blues from Audio Control, and it needed the greens, which we found out later, just because it was a timing thing on their end that GM was doing. And so it was one of those, like, okay, it was a simple fix, but it still kind of threw us for a loop. Kicker solves that problem with their KISS load, because their KISS load is just, it's a grenade. You don't have to worry about anything once you put that in, just because they've made it robust enough and enough of a load, and with its heatsink, to where it's not an elegant solution to the problem. It's a solution to the problem. So kudos to them for doing that, because it's definitely nice.
It is true that certain songs can hurt your speakers because how the songs were made.
Oh, correct. 100% correct. And if you're not hearing Fernando, I'm sorry. Yes. So if you want a good read, if you're bored one day and you want a good read, go over and type in loudness wars. And what you'll find is an interesting story of how music labels have manipulated songs in order for them to sound louder on the radio. Move forward to today, where you have artists that just make songs with distortion built into them because they think it sounds good. There's a couple, like, I listen to a lot of when I'm driving and I just want mind-numbing crap in the background. I just listen to like dance music, Dance XL or something like that on iTunes. It's background noise. I don't have to hear it. Just better than silence. And a lot of that music, it sounds very bad because they've recorded in distorted sounds. But yeah, it's totally doable thing. What else you got?
Alright. How good is the Alpine PDX V9? Just bought one and I'm excited to put it in.
PDX V9 was the champion 5-channel amp for a long time. It was kind of like the Mike Tyson of amplifiers. It just came out at the right time. That whole PDX line was phenomenal. It really pushed Class D amplifiers forward and let people understand that, yes, you could do a Class D and sound good, be small, be efficient, put out a ton of power. Have things moved past that since then? Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, this audio control in the back here is a prime example of, what 5-channel Class D amplifiers have migrated into, you know, but you'd never kick that amplifier out of bed for any reason, because it's powerful, it sounds great, it has awesome high frequency reproduction, and honestly, if they would evolve that technology to today, I think we would have had a much cooler amplifier. But it was one of those things where it wasn't their technology. They were paying somebody else for it, from what I've surmised. Don't quote me on that. And so when it came time to move forward, it was just different.
Right.
What else you got?
All right, hang on. I have anything for 2021 Chevy with Bose.
That uses a technology called AVB. And right now, the only people that had made an interface for it was Nav TV. They had the Zen AVB. They had since recalled the unit because it was doing strange things. We don't know what. They just put out a recall. And right now, they've fixed the problem, they've said. But because of COVID and the chip shortage and all the nonsense going on there, they haven't been able to get the parts to make the newer version of it. So at the moment, there is no interface. However, all is not lost. If you have the Bose system in there, it's actually pre-tuned pretty well, meaning it doesn't sound bad. It just needs more power and better speakers. What we have been doing is going after the amplifier old school style, as you would say. It's not really old school style, and doing power for power, meaning don't sum anything. Don't sum a damn thing, because it won't work. You'll just ruin things, and just go power for power. A lot of the times in those, we recommend doing a front stage upgrade, which is a nice 4-channel DSP'd amplifier on the front stage of the car, the 2 tweeters, the 2 mids, and then a subwoofer in the back. That will bring that system to life and really make it sound phenomenal.
Well, now that you just want to suggest equipment, what did you suggest for a 2016 Chevy Colorado with a 6-speaker Bose? Simple upgrade. Nothing crazy.
The same thing. Just do a nice front stage upgrade in it, and it'll sound phenomenal. There is room behind that back panel to mount an amplifier. If you so choose, behind the back seat, that back panel comes off, and on the driver's side, there is plenty of room. We actually would put a Q-Class 1005 there, the couple we've done. There is also a box that you can get for 2 8s that go underneath the seat that has an amp location on top of it. We've done that one too. The couple we have done have been non-Bose, but it falls in that same category as the bigger brother of it. Power for power, nice. You could probably do a nice 5-channel like the D5 1300 in there. Run the front 2 speakers, run the front 4 speakers into it, run the subwoofer into it, put some better subs underneath the seat, and rock on.
Yep. Honda Element with the 7-speaker system. Normally you use the Alpine Power Pack to retain the subwoofer, but they are not available. Any other suggestion?
You're just basically looking for a small amplifier to power that up. Yeah, a lot of those small Class Ds aren't available. Footprint-wise, Alpine doesn't make that power pack amp anymore, but they do make the bigger one for the ILX W650.
Yeah.
They make that, which is a small 500-watt amp. Kicker has a small 250 watt by 1 amplifier.
I mean, Kenwood has ones. The small one.
Stinger has one, which is a 2 by like a 2.3, which is a 300 watt.
300, yeah.
Kenwood has their small amplifiers that are right about the same price as the Alpine. And then Sound Digital makes a small amplifier also. They make a small 4-channel that you could do a front stage and a sub.
Kicker Key 500.1, you know.
They have the Kicker Key 500, but I mean, if you're just trying to power up that factory sub, you don't need anything too crazy.
I know.
Is the Hertz EP5 amp a good amp, or should I look for something else? Honestly, it's funny. I was talking with McNulty last night, who's the national sales trainer for those guys, about the Hertz amplifiers. We really haven't looked at the Hertz amplifiers in a couple years, so it's not anything I can comment on. He was telling me about the current amplifier line and how much better they are from when we looked at the line. The older amplifiers, we just weren't impressed with the power. The newer amplifiers supposedly fixed that, and it's just we haven't looked at it. We haven't gone back to it because we're kind of comfortable with the amplifiers we're using right now. But he assures me it's a fine amplifier and that if we ever were, we'd be totally happy. So I'll pass that on to you.
Yeah. Argentina's in the house.
Argentina! Whoop, whoop!
That's it. You cut out with everything.
That's awesome. Well, hey guys, listen, since that's it, we're going to head on out. We got to get back to work. We got another car to do. We got some more shop stuff we need to clean. You good?
At this moment, all representatives that assist and other clients, please stay in the line. Thank you.
Now you got to repeat it in Spanish. You practice that one so much in English that you can't even do it in Spanish. Press numero dos. Press numero dos. Oh gosh! In case any of you guys missed that, just go back and listen to it. It's way more fun. Yeah, this is the last minute Jeep. We're getting done. We're getting out of here. Here the next hour or so. We just had a quick 4 speakers we had to put in here. I got mine done. Mine are in and out. These are some CS kickers. You can see that gold tweeter right there, just looking all sexy.
How are you done? Can you move your seat?
I would love to move my seat. Yeah. Dude, your knees ain't even touching.
What? They're inside it. Wow.
All right, there you go. You feel better? Oscar, what's up? So let me throw this one at you guys a little bit. Traveling with Fernando. All right. Yeah, everyone has been on an airplane.
Yeah.
This guy sits on an airplane. I give him the window seat. He will cross his legs, Indian style, on the seat in the airplane, and go right to sleep.
I was tired.
Yeah, but the fact that you could do that is just... What's up, Mr. Hi-Fi? You're the reason why we're on. You know what today is, right, Fernando?
Today is Thursday.
This
Happy
better...
Tuesday?
Hold on, before I go that, this better be amazing. You're interrupting me watching Wilson unboxing a Kicker Warhorse. Here, I'll jump to the end. It's right there. There's your Warhorse. Ooh, okay.
I like the unboxing.
Say hi to Natasha.
Hi, Natasha. Excited.
Natasha, we need to know where you are in relation to Tempe.
Yeah. You should.
I got to call. We got to
to
text. We need to talk. That's a whole nother thing.
I need another piece, please.
What do you need? Oh, another piece of heat shrink? Sure.
Right here.
What?
We have a big...
I have cut. I don't have scissors, and I'm holding my hand. Picked up some RL 6x9 components for my Toyota Tacoma based off of your suggestion. Can't wait to hear them. I can't wait for you to hear them also, because there's nothing more that brings us joy than when we recommend something and you use it and you're like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. Here you go, sir.
Thank you so much.
No problem. That's what I live for. Anyways, as I was saying, Fernando, today is Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Today's still Thursday.
Movie review.
Well, today is the Side Jag movie review. The movie that we were supposed to have watched was Demolition Man, which I, of course, am a big fan of
that movie.
and I've seen many, many times.
I like that movie.
I don't think that movie holds up, like by today's movie standards.
Yeah,
Although
but it doesn't matter because it's an old,
all right, so
good.
we watched the trailer because I watched the movie, which was Gunpowder and Milkshakes. Okay, Gunpowder.
Like a drug dealer.
No, we just watched the trailer for it. The one with the chick.
Yes.
Yes, you were like, what? And then you watch the trailer and go, I can't wait to watch this.
I want to watch it.
Okay, that movie isn't the most serious movie ever. And if I had never watched Demolition Man, I feel that those two movies would kind of play hand in hand with one another. Like, it's almost like those movies now have become the tongue-in-cheek kind of Kill Bill movie currently out that they're coming out with.
Like Charlie Angel's style.
Yeah, which I didn't like, but whatever.
I don't know.
But good call. Good call. Anyways, aside from that, we have reverse polarity that's going to be on at 8:30.
Yeah. What are those two crazy guys doing today?
I have no idea what we're doing today. Hey, you know who we haven't heard from in a while? And you just brought it up yesterday?
What?
Tommy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's right here.
It's alive.
I know. Well, he's a busy guy. He's driving all over the country, man. He doesn't know how to fly anymore. Judging from the title, I can imagine that it isn't the most serious movie ever. I tell you what, it's not the most serious ever.
Which one?
Gunpowder Milkshakes.
I know.
But dude, it was awesome.
I like it. I like the previous.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had to watch it on my laptop because I couldn't get it to work for some stupid reason on my Apple TV, and I enjoyed the whole thing. So they kept bugging me. Is that green thing soldering? Yes, that is one of the original Aussie irons that you can't find anymore.
Not anymore.
No, and Fernando, of course, got the first one when we bought them, so he got...
And this is a special.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the joy of the laser.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely want to watch tonight. So tonight at 8:30, check us out, Reverse Polarity, Hi-Fi Vega on the Hi-Fi Vega network over there on the YouTubes. And then after that, 9:45, head over to SideJag and watch us talk about Loki, if you haven't been watching that. And then going to be available next week. Oh, we should put in our reservation now to get a phone call from Tommy next week sometime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like our installation schedule. We have to book a 5-minute conversation with
at
Tommy.
this moment, all representatives are assisting on other clients. Please stay in the line.
Ada's on the phone, and typical Ada fashion. Last night we were talking, because now that he's in the group that is redoing. Right now, for those of you guys that are in industry or out of industry, you're familiar. Most of you guys are familiar with the Installer of the Year program that we typically take part in. This year, we're rewriting the whole thing. They've put together a committee. I got on the committee. Ada got on the committee. Tommy's partner, Elias, got on the committee. A bunch of guys are on this. Guy named Jay Cook out of Columbus Car Stereo.
A lot of people in the industry.
And if I'm forgetting, Brian Piper, Chris Beulah from Sony, and then Kingpin himself is on there as well. And if I forgot somebody, I apologize. But anyways, we're on it. We're doing it. Oh, yeah. Well, of course. Richard works for the MEA. So we're in the process of doing it. So anyways, last night he calls me. We're talking. Yeah. And typical Ada fashion, phone dies.
See ya.
I got 10 minutes to talk to you and your phone dies. Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about car audio for a couple minutes, because this has turned into an episode of Reverse Polarity here, where we side jag the crap out of it. This is the... What is this? This is the CS?
This is a car.
This is a Jeep. This isn't a car. All right, so this is the CSC5 entry level yellow, as I like to call them, the yellow brand of kickers. These things, I tell you, for the money, performance, value, one of my favorite speakers, because these things are insane. Kicker does an amazing job with this speaker. And the easiest way to say this would be the joke: you didn't pay for all that sound. So when you get into these, you definitely didn't pay for all that sound. Who's Ground Zero rep for Texas? I don't know.
Ground Zero for Texas. I don't know. Call
I don't know.
Tommy.
Tell Tommy. Tommy who? Text Tommy, or become friends with Tommy who and let him know.
Just ask.
Oh, Casey's in the house. What's up, Casey?
Oh, Casey.
Papa Morel. Yeah, you got Mama Morel, Papa Morel. But Oscar would like to know, Tommy, who is the rep. Oscar works for... Who does Oscar work for? Jay's Tint. Yeah. Oscar's the man. He was the... Speaking of Install of the Year, he was the Rookie of the Year. So...
Yeah.
Pro Tech tip of the day. Do you have a Pro Tech tip?
No.
Pays to be small.
No, not really.
Wow.
You can fit in different places that you can't.
Oh, nice. Found the factory amp on a 2003 Cadillac CTS base model, but the speaker wires are not on there. Do you know where they might be? Any help would be appreciated. I'm guessing that's not the amplifier if the speaker wires aren't there. That might be the actual radio tuner. But no, I mean, you know, it's a Cadillac. Honestly, I have no idea off the top of my head. There you go. Send request to be, Any recommendations to upgrade a car battery? Depending on the car, upgrading the car battery can be a lot of fun. If you're talking about just replacing the factory battery with a better battery, or you know, like if you want to go to like a different brand, my experience has always been, you know, the factory battery that powers the car needs to be the best factory style battery. So whether you go to Batteries Plus or Discount Auto Parts or one of those, you want to replace like for like. So like in the Camaro, it had an AGM battery, and the 10 and 11 years I owned it, I replaced the battery twice. It was an amazing battery. It lasted phenomenally. But, you know, if your car doesn't have an AGM, you definitely don't want to go with an AGM. You know, you want to match whatever the car needs with whatever the car needs. Spending and getting the best is what's most important. But if you're looking to change it to, let's say, a Stinger or one of those, that becomes a little bit more tricky because some of those batteries are not made to start the vehicle. Anyways. What value ohm resistor is needed for a stock radio to operate with a JL model Jeep? Thanks in advance. JL Jeep is going to be green. So that is the 20s. So it's a 20 ohm resistor. So what we would use is we'd pick up a set of the AC LGD 20 ohm. That's these. If you can't find them, I believe they have them on Amazon. If you want a link, head over to dnftooldrawer.com. That's dnftooldrawer.com. We have those listed in the install parts, and that's what you need for the non-amplified system. Now, the real question is, what are you planning on doing in that Jeep? If you're planning on disconnecting no radio powering any speakers at all, then you have two options that you want to do instead of doing something like that. Because it's a JL Jeep, you can use an AmpPro CH41. The AmpPro CH41 Mark II, I don't even think they put a Mark II on there, will actually reprogram the radio to think it's the Alpine Premium system, and then you'll get a 4-volt preamp output through the AmpPro. All the baloney is gone, no bass roll-off, which the Jeeps have a tremendous amount of bass roll-off. All the equalization, gone. It's all flat, perfect. The second option, of course, would be to go with some form of the Maestro. It'll do the same thing. You can go with the Maestro harness here, hook up to a DSR1. You could hook up to the audio control. The audio control's not out yet. You could hook up to the Kenwood PX XR 600. Now this just comes with the AR in the box, and you can find deals on these right now. The only thing you'll need is the T-harness. You can also, if you're a fan of ARC Audio, you can go with the PS 8-50 would work. That's a 9-channel, 8 channels of power, 9-channel output. But something like that, any one of those solutions will allow you to not have to do high level to low level adapter. You don't have to worry about the load resistors. You don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. That's all included in the package. And the best part is no bass roll off. Oh my God, no bass roll off. What's up, Casey? Bobby. So I haven't given you a pro tip of the day yet.
I don't have one.
If you guys tuned in on Monday, you saw I was cleaning up this area over here. There's always a stack of basically this. We haven't moved these yet, but Fernando, I started this cabinet and got it pretty much where we needed it. Fernando finished. So what we got now is the acrylic is in here. I'm going to put another shelf in here so we can have two layers. It's not finished, but we got the acrylic in here, so it's like, oh my gosh. And then we clean this cabinet out so we can put our blankets. And then these are various parts, like metal zip ties. There's other zip ties, extra butt connectors that we don't ever use, ring terminals, stuff like that, masks, zip ties. So we were able to do that. The next, of course, is to find some place for our water. That would be really cool. That's just pushing it, I think. Because usually we have like 3 or 4 cases of water. He's standing in front of the fan. Pro tip: always have candy in the toolbox. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's your pro tip. Thanks to viewers like you, Fernando is hooked up with the candy. He's always got the Starbucks.
Look inside.
What am I looking? Oh, in the toolbox?
No. Inside the back.
Oh, does this have the Tootsie Rolls in it?
Ooh.
Oh, speaking of that, I want a Tootsie Roll because they're nice and soft right now because it's like 1,000,000 degrees. So, all right. So as you saw, this says Mobile Solutions. These are all Mobile Solutions. You ever order anything from Mobile Solutions? Like if you pick yourself up a nice wire ruler, I'll save those. Then you can get, he sends candy with all his orders, which is awesome. But Fernando, the other day, registered to win something with Mobile Solutions. Do you know where it's at? The roller.
It's in my home. Oh, no. Oh,
it's not at your home. No, not your shirt. So for those of you that don't know, one of the things that Mobile Solutions does, along with making really cool installation tools and me dropping stuff, is they are the distributor, one of the distributors for Sound Shield sound treatment. Really nice sound treatment. It is a beautiful metal foam backed sound treatment. We've had the pleasure of working with it, of course, and it is Fernando approved.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. There you go. CCC.
CCC.
But they had a contest where they said send in your picture, right, with your Sound Shield on it, and they were giving away a T-shirt and a new, look at that, Marshalltown awesome roller.
This is nice.
So this has a nice cushioned grip.
All right.
So this is the Old Faithful.
Wood.
It's got this.
Yeah.
This is soft. Like I can squeeze this. See how this squeezes, that does not squeeze, which is nice because as we know, the metal in these doors is not getting any thicker. So having a little bit of give there, really nice. Plus this hard edge, when you're doing that foamed back stuff, will cut into it, which really sucks because when you're as picky as like Fernando is, when you cut the foam, you just look at it and go, even though no human will ever see it, you go, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
So, of course, another cool tool to pick up when you're ordering your wire rulers, pick yourself up a roller, the baddest roller in town, of course, typical Mobile Solutions fashion. And if you're in industry and you'd like to really up your game, what's coming up here next year, March?
Monster Tech.
Monster Tech?
Master
Tech.
Tech.
That's just an accent. He said master. I'm picking on him. But the new Master Tech training is coming up in March. If you want to know more about that, it is a paid-for event, of course, but nothing easy comes free.
Correct.
And if you want to better yourself, it's worth the money.
And they use upgraded thing. Check it out because that's gonna.
Yeah, they did do an announcement yesterday.
It's gonna be a competition thing.
Best Bluetooth amp. I don't know about a Bluetooth amp, but we have two devices that can make any amp Bluetooth. And the reason why I don't care about that is because, all right, so you have the ACX BT1, and then if we come over here, we have the AMAS 96K. Now these two guys right here, price-wise, are on opposite sides of the spectrum. This guy here is like $200, $300. Is it $300? Anyways, this guy here is super expensive, but the reason why it's called a 96K is because it transmits at 96 kilohertz.
All right, hang on.
So you can do high-res music. What?
So it's right there, mastertechexpo.com.
Yes, if you'd like to know more about what we just talked about with Mobile Solutions, mastertechexpo.com. And also go check out the update that they put out yesterday. Even if you're not going to go, it's going to be an event.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get to have a lot of fun with it. They're going to have a great build-off that's going on. I think it'd be cool if we're there, which I think we're supposed to be, we'll be able to do some kind of like updates, like internet updates like this. And because they're going to have a competition, Team 1 against Team 2 on some form of a build-off. That'd be cool to keep you guys involved in it, Brian. Just saying, throwing that out there. You might already have this plan. He's a genius. He's got a ton of crap going on in his head. So, anyways, back to the Bluetooth. He's got this, bro. Back to these two. This one is, of course, the most expensive. This will stream high-res audio. What makes this unique is it is RCAs as well as a Toshlink digital output. So this has some high-end features. That's why it has the Toshlink. So it's a digital out. This is a conventional ACX-BT1. This is just an add-on Bluetooth dongle. What makes this unique is this is, as well as it is waterproof. Yeah. So you can use it in a vehicle such as this, where the top is off and could possibly get wet, and or put it in any other car where you want to build that amplifier in the back. The reason why I like this as opposed to an amplifier with Bluetooth is just it has more options. And I get to decide what quality I want to go into. So for example, this Moscone here, if I want to take this, hook it up to a Moscone 8-channel DSP amplifier, I can Tosh link out, go into it, life is great. I now have 8 channels of Tosh linked digital, badass sound coming out, boom. If I want to take this guy, ACX BT1, and go into a D611200, an LC 611200, a ACM 4.300 micro amplifier, or an ACM 4.300 and an ACM 1.300, make a nice little 5-channel amp. I can do all that with either one of these, but it gives me the option to build what I want. Damn, that was one hell of a commercial for whatever the question was asked, wasn't it?
Yep.
By the way, mobilesolutionsexpo.com. And make sure if you go over to Mobile Solutions, you pick up your wire ruler. The colors that are, these are all the leftovers, guys. So these are now collector's items. So if you got an orange, a pink, or a yellow, you are officially collector item material, because green and blue won. Those are the colors. All right, come on over here. Which we kind of knew that from the beginning. What am I calling? AMAS.
96K.
96K.
That's right.
That is the baddest animal on the block.
That's right.
On the JBL.
What kind of strippers do you have?
These are, it's funny, because we just threw away a bunch of them. These are, these are Kleins, and then these are vice grips, and they both suck equally. So it doesn't matter which one you buy, they both suck. And the reason why they suck is, see that spring right there? There's another one right there, and they always break, and I can't buy just springs. And trying to warranty them out is like pulling teeth. So, and they only cost like 20 bucks. So they're unicorns. Anyways, so yeah, so like I just threw away like 3 pairs of these and 3 pairs of those that were totally useless now. So it really sucks. But yeah, they're unicorns. The colored wire rulers are unicorns. Can't go wrong with channel lock. You can go wrong with anything that says wire stripper like this on it. That spring just doesn't last. For most people, strippers, I'm in it. I mean, for most people, a set of these will last them a lifetime. Yeah. But for us, they last about 6 months.
Really now?
I don't know, man.
Not 6 months.
Dude, it feels like 6 months.
What are you cutting, like metal? Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm stripping big time. Stripping big time.
Wow.
I was answering something, but I totally forgot what it was. What's a good radio upgrade for my 08 Dodge Charger STR with factory sub in the trunk? Current radio is factory, my gig, radio. It's starting to give out any recommendations. I would look at anything that'll do an iData RR. All right, that's what you want. You want iData RR compatibility. That is what is going to integrate with your Dodge the best and allow you to retain all the options that are built in the radio. So anything that'll do that is what you want to look at. The reason why I say that is because right now finding radios is very difficult. So if I was to point you in a direction, I'd say a Kenwood Exelon, like a 706 or something around there. Or if you want to go ultimate, go into the XR version of the Exelon radio. But short chassis would also be really nice. What?
What are your rates? I have a party coming up.
Do those Bluetooths have any output voltage? Honestly, I don't think we've ever tried it.
Never tested.
I never tested for it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's something we could test at some point. Yeah. I don't know why we couldn't, but...
All right, Dean, I'm doing a 3-way on my Dodge.
Oh, with strippers, hopefully.
To you is tweeters on the door, sell. Yeah. Mids in the dash and mid bass on the doors. It will have a Helix DSP. Thanks.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's good. The Helix DSP, or the DSP in general, it's going to allow that to work the best. Perfect. Because you need to be able to do some adjustments between those two. Come on over here. Sorry, I was getting away from that light. Yeah, selfie. Yeah, so the level control and time alignment, mainly the level control, is what's going to make that possible and make that work very well. Amp dyno on the horizon. Yes. Okay, so good question. Just to fill you guys in, today you guys got the audio control from Knowledge Fest or Orlando. I'm sorry, I had to think about that. So we had that go up. And tomorrow you're going to get the German Maestro from Orlando. So I'm just letting you guys know so you guys are in on the secret. Next week we have 4 more videos, I believe, from there. However, I might split those up and do maybe 2 this week, 2 next, or 2, split them up a little bit. But we have a bunch of amp dyno videos. We have we did some JVC and some Kenwood amp dynos, so they're going to be coming. Sail panel on axis. Yeah, you can do that too. Easy there, Mr. A-pillar guy. But yeah, so we do have the one I'm really looking forward to is the JVC 5 channel. For one, it's a 5 channel, which is cool. 2, it was something that people were asking for, and we got access. They gave them to us to play with. We have to give them back. They're on loan. So I'm really excited about that. Any of you guys that are going to Knowledge Fest Dallas, just to get you excited, if you speak Latino, such as Spanish, like...
Speak Latino. Okay.
It sounded like you said spec Latino. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Anyway, or spec. Yeah, anyways, you get my point.
Yo hablo español.
If you hablo español, these guys here, Fernando, Mr. Ricardo from Monster by Rangel. Yeah. That's the only R I can roll is his. Rangel.
Yeah.
And then who's the other gentleman?
That's Roberto. He's the rep in Mexico.
Roberto? I thought it was the other guy. The guy. Anyways, 3 of them are getting together and they're going to be doing an after hours Spanish.
Actually, Oscar is going to help too.
Okay, so they'll be doing an after. Wow, it was racist. That's what I was talking about. He was being racist on himself. You guys. Anyways, a whole nother podcast. If you speak Spanish, you're going to want to be there. It's going to be Saturday night after hours. It's going to be like a 2-hour training from 3 of the coolest guys in car audio. I'll be there, of course, just holding the camera if they need me. Otherwise, I'll be like, I'll probably have earbuds in just listening to something because I have no idea what they'll be talking about. Every now and then they might say gringo, and I'll be like, oh, man. Also, with that, if you are going, we are going to be teaching a class there, of course, which is really cool. And this class I'm excited. I'm more excited about this class.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about gear, camera gear.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about all the cool stuff that we use to make these videos, which is like awesome because we've told people we've done enough classes on how to and the concept and all this other nonsense. Now, one of the main questions we always get is about the gear. Like, hey, I saw you guys use this. Hey, I saw you guys use that. Yeah. So we're going to actually do a show or a class on gear, and then I'll be doing another class with audio control about demystifying the magic box, as well as we just found out today we're going to be doing something with Kenwood. So,
yeah, exactly.
5 volt is max volume. It could be. Depends what you're doing. No, I do not comprehendo Spanish or any of that other stuff. 5D Mark IV. I do have a 5D Mark IV. Yes. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to bring it though. We haven't decided. We brought it last year, and I ended up not doing much with it. Mm-hmm. So if we can get away with not having to bring the 5D Mark IV, then I'm not going to, because I really don't think...
Just like, believe me, it's a lot of equipment that we bring to this...
Yeah, so we kind of got to pick and choose how much equipment we take, because it does get really, really heavy.
I know, it's no kidding. And I'm getting shorter and shorter and shorter every year.
He's silly. On the JBL DSP, if I feed it 4-channel input to do front 2-way active and rear and use the output on the other amp, do I need 7 and 8 or just 7? In the input setup, you can just tell it what you want it to do. So you just dictate its output from the input setup. There again, cool thing about DSPs, you can always launch them and play with the software without it being actually in the car and working. But just go to the input setup on that, and you should be able to just direct 1, 2, 3, or 4, or all of them over to that channel you want to feed for your subwoofer. Oh. Fernando Cam. Oh, Fernando Cam better be bigger. Everything is bigger in Texas.
Oh, bro.
No. Well, actually, yeah, because some of the parts that we had on order we didn't take to Orlando.
Exactly.
So there will
But
be.
it's heavy, dude.
There will be more stuff. Oh, I gotta order those rails. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the new Stinger head unit fit in 2017 Tahoe or the Kenwood? Thanks. Yes, it will fit in any application. Will it fit sexy in there? No, it's just going to be a floating screen in that particular vehicle right now. I say that, not that I know anything, I'm just merely saying that right now it's a floating screen. So if you're going to go Kenwood or you're going to go Stinger, right now Stinger has not updated their GM harness to include any of the cool back end features like gauges and stuff like that. So for me, I would go with the Kenwood so I could do iData interfacing into it and retain all my GM stuff. However, if it has Bose, neither one of them make a Bose interface for it, so it has to be base model. Arc or Illusion. Oh, wow, Oscar, what are you throwing at me here? TW? Oh, so I guess we're talking about shallow mount.
Well, somebody
subwoofers.
say, what's the best performing shallow 12 subwoofer?
I'll agree with all three of those, but I'll still throw in the Kicker Comp RT or the Kicker T7, L7T.
L7T.
Personally, I think the L7T out of all of those is probably the monster. I mean, because look at those boxes. You put those, like, that box that thing comes in from the factory is nothing.
No, it's
and
good.
it
It's
is
good. Not all of them.
insane.
Like
but they're all
Oscar,
great.
All of them. They're like, you can check all those, and if you have the opportunity to listen to them.
I mean, if you're asking which ones I personally own, I own the Arc myself. I own the L7T. The L7T is in Haley's car. The Arc is sitting right here one day. It's going to go into something. I've heard them all. I love them all. So, yeah. The Illusion is nice, too. Yeah, you know, the thing is, when you're at that level, man, it's hard to screw up. You know, when you're spending $300 or $400 on something,
Right.
you're getting an awesome piece.
Yeah, you're getting
that's the scary part. Kenwood Exelon reference 5-volt output. Is 5-volt possible at full volume without any sound effects engaged? Can't get over 1.5 volts with 0 dB recorded test tones.
Oh, dude, that's right. Marklund is right.
What was Marklund saying?
Audio mobile.
Oh,
Audio
don't
mobile?
sleep on the mobile slim sub.
Automobile.
Yes, sorry, you were corrected on that.
Dude.
Yes.
Yes, those subwoofers.
Which we actually talked to him at Knowledge Fest,
Yeah.
and Fernando got to interview him. That interview is one of the interviews I have yet to see yet because I was off filming another one. So you guys will be learning more about automobile.
So we never heard
slim
them.
subs.
But what he was talking about,
Dude, talk about
the
the most
technology that they do with these
geeky
subwoofers
guy. Oh, it's insane. Because when we were done, we were like, dude, we should get an 8-inch and a passive radiator.
I
and
would
just
love to do that. So
build a glove box. Yeah, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dean also owns the GZ Green Monster. I do own the GZ Green Monster, and we're waiting for the Super Box from Biscuit up at Traffic Jams in Georgia to finish building that for me. It's going to take a while. I want him to do the most awesome job possible. So, and then we'll have to have a truck freighted down here. So it's okay. I'm in no hurry to get that box, but once he gets done with it,
he's gonna come out with like a style like.
because he's going to be judged. Biscuit is going to be judged. I mean, he's been He's been top 12 install of the year for like 10 years now. He's got skills for days. He's the nicest guy in the world. But I'm putting him on. If you guys don't know who Biscuit is, go back and watch our trip to Knowledge Fest, Orlando. There's 3 gentlemen there that say Dean for president. Biscuit was the first guy, and then they say, "Hey, Biscuit."
So
yeah, Biscuit, Elias,
are gonna do that?
and Jay Cook. Those 3 guys. Those are all right there, guys we talk about all the time. So, what amp are you going to use for your sub, Dean? I don't know yet. We haven't decided. We have quite a few to choose from. Right now, it's just going to go in and get the 501 that's on it currently, just to get it in there, just to get it playing, just to break it in, and then we'll decide what we want to do after that, because we have quite a few. I have the Sound Digital 1200, I have the 3K. I don't think it needs anything quite that big, And if need be, I'll buy something to power it. I don't really care. We have other things too that we're working on, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
The JBL input mixer is kind of confusing. The front is annoying, and there is so much stuff. Any tips on how to use it? No, it sucks. It's annoying. It doesn't suck. It's
Just time.
DSP software. It is time. You have to wrap your head around it. I think we put up the JBL software at some point, so we do have a video on the JBL software, but
It's in the live show.
yeah, we did a lot. Didn't we separate that out?
I
thought we
separated. I have it in my laptop.
Oh, you still haven't?
I
We haven't
still
put it up yet?
No.
I'll see if we can get that out in the next couple days. Don't forget to hop on to Reverse Polarity. Yes, tonight, 8:30 Central. I'm sorry, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Hi-Fi Vega Network, Reverse Polarity. And then after that, 9:45 Side Jag, we'll be talking about Demolition Man.
Yeah, I like that.
And of course, Loki. Because I think Loki's over. Did I see the end of Loki? Yeah, Loki's done.
Really?
Yeah, it ended.
Lucky.
All right, so back to the original question on the 1.5 volts normal at full volume. If you're using, you have to use a test tone for one. If you're using pink noise, you're never going to get above that because pink noise is not the same thing. You want to play your 1000 or 40 hertz test tone and see what kind of output voltage you get at that point. Pink noise is not what you use to measure output voltage. It's just a representation of full bandwidth sound. So it doesn't work that way.
Epicenter. Before or after the equalizer?
After the equalizer. So, one more time for those. For one, we have a really great video. 1 kilohertz test tone at 0 dB. If that's what you're using and you're not getting the output, then that's weird. But yeah, that's what you should be at. You should get the voltage output there. At that point, I would check your source. When we test those radios, we would always test them with a CD because your phone can. When we tested, when we were doing radio dynos, which you could go back, we did a couple Kenwood radio dynos. So we have a playlist that shows you radio dynos. And we walked you through the whole process of how we got the output voltage and how it worked. We always used the CD first as the reference point because what we found is that using a phone, we would have to go in and turn up the level control, the source level adjust, up to get up to the output voltage. So we'd use the CD as a reference point, which sucks because a lot of these players don't have CD anymore, I understand. But we'd use the CD as a reference point, find where the maximum output was on distorted, and then we'd bring up our source level adjust on our other sources to match. So if you're not getting the output voltage from a phone or from a USB or from an aux, it could be an output device problem, not necessarily the radio's problem.
It's just weird because, all right, so he has the Kenwood Excellent reference 5 volt output.
Yeah.
It's 1.5 volt normal at full volume.
Yeah.
Without sound effect.
Right. Which is okay though. I mean, that's kind of the thing. I mean, Pioneer always rated their radios at 4 volt, but it was really 4 volts with the EQ on. So it's kind of like a negative 5 dB of gain overlap, which is 5 dB is a gain overlap. Massive subwoofers are great. I've had mine for about 8 years. There you go. Someone's asking a question about it. CD's nuts, Bobby.
I play some with massive.
CarPlay or USB input. It's a yeah. So it has no CD player, and that's the problem. So that's always going to be the problem. Measuring these new units is that your source unit, you have no idea what this is putting out in order to get that output voltage.
Yeah.
So you don't know if your 0 dB track is actually 0 dB track. You might have a 0 dB track or your phone isn't actually 0 dB. What you might want to try to do is go into source level adjust on that, or SLA, I think it's called source level adjust, and see how far you have to turn it up and see what that sounds like. I don't know if I'd worry about this too much because, I mean, we've done plenty of the Kenwoods. I owned one personally. And we never have any issues with getting enough signal out of these radios. So
Audio Frog CD? Yeah. That's a good CD.
Yeah, Audio Frog? I mean, I paid $200 just to get the CD. I mean, that was... You know, it was funny when I was talking to Andy and he was talking about how many people buy his mic and CD kit. that never register them to get the download for the microphone calibration. So either they don't read the instructions to figure out they have to register to get the microphone calibrator, or they're like us that just buy it for the CD. And I told him, I said, Andy, I gotta be honest with you, I'm that guy, I bought it for the CD. He goes, that's fine. I was like, yeah, I know, I just really wanted the CD, you know?
It's funny, he made a video of, and if you guys are a friend of him, he make a
Andy is
unboxing
Audio
video.
Frog, by the way. He made an unboxing video? Really?
Awesome.
Well, I haven't seen that one, you haven't mentioned that. Is it older or is it newer? Because his son is trying to get him to do that, and he doesn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to do this at all. When we were talking,
Watch it.
all right, when we were talking, he's like, yeah, my son keeps wanting me to do these videos, and I don't want any part of it. I wanted to go, you can hire us, and we'll do them, but, you know.
No. Watch it, it's good.
Yeah. Have you guys done any installs in a second-gen Colorado? Yes. I have a 2016, and I'm trying to find
It's there.
a video for reference. I don't think we ever filmed it.
We do, man.
We didn't. I'm telling you, I don't think we ever filmed that.
I'm pretty sure we have thousands of.
Yeah, but I don't think we ever did the Colorado. The problem is we don't remember now what we filmed and what we didn't. But I don't think we ever filmed it. But yeah, we've done it. I think we have pictures. But
I mean, what are you trying to do?
I don't know. So this new Epicenter works the same as the older one, but better. Yes. I mean, that's kind of the idea, right?
Hey,
you want
Iowa, what's going on, man?
You want it to do all the same things. I think if you watch the video on the Epicenter Micro, Matthew does a really good job of explaining the subtle differences between the current Epicenter and the Micro. Remember, it's not a replacement; it's an addition to Epicenter. I'm excited because, like we talked about in the video, we'll now have 3 choices, even though in the video I said 1 choice. We'll have the LC1i, we'll have the LC2i Pro, and we'll have the Epicenter Micro. And personally, out of all 3 of those, I feel like the Epicenter Micro is going to be the most popular one we sell. Because I don't think bass roll-off is the problem anymore. I feel high-pass crossover on the output is the problem, more so than anything. So I'm excited for that piece to come out. For one, it's smaller, which is great because, you know, we need the room. Yeah. Other thing, too, that a lot of people didn't understand was the knob, the ACR4. The ACR4, okay, so talking about audio control knobs, having ACR1, ACR2, ACR3. Each one of them does something different depending on the device you're going to hook them up to. So, for example, let me walk over here, grab one off the shelf. The ACR1 is for the 2i, the 6i, the 7i, the overdrive, the Matrix Plus, the Plus 6X, the Epicenter, the LC 4800, all the LCs. The Epicenter 2 was only compatible with the Epicenter Plus, which they don't make anymore, so there probably won't be any Epicenter or ACR 2s. The ACR 3 is for the Epicenter amplifiers that they don't make, as well as the 8i, the LC 8i, the DQ61, the DQ DX, the 608, the 810, and of course all of the D 4.800s and all the D series amplifiers. The ACR 4 is going to be now compatible with, the first piece it's going to be compatible with is the Epicenter Micro. Now read between that, the lines there, but what the purpose of it for the Micro is, one knob is going to be for effect, and the other knob is going to be for subwoofer volume. But they use their knobs for different products. The current lineup probably won't change. But they're not going to make a knob like the ACR2 that just does one thing. They don't do that anymore. Okay? Right. I can't make it any more subtle than that, other than to say it'll do more stuff at some point for other products. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, that just stands to within reason.
Right, Dean.
Yes, sir.
The best cheap 3.5 millimeters Bluetooth.
The best cheap 3.5 millimeter Bluetooth? Rockford.
I was thinking Rockford one.
Rockford makes a really cool 3.5 millimeter Bluetooth adapter that plugs into the cigarette lighter and has a little blue. I don't know what it's like the Rock RFBT or some silly thing like that. Mm-hmm. It's like RFBTAUX.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something like that. But if you head over to rockfordfosgate.com and look at their accessories, they make the coolest little Bluetooth piece. It's like just like a power plug to charge your phone, and it has a USB on it to charge your phone. So one of my favorites. We actually did a video on that. We did that video years ago because we put it in Gabby's car.
Really?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I remember that one because we were playing. We were playing Justin Timberlake. I'll put on my suit and tie. We were both dancing in the front seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember, man.
Yeah, that's okay. So, yep. Okay, moving on. He made it on how to pull the manual out of the box.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh.
That's awesome.
Oh.
You should watch it, man.
I will watch it.
Have, like...
I'm with you, one knob to rule them all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 100% one knob to rule them all. I think the closest one knob to rule them all has got to be the new Helix knob. Whatever.
The Conductor.
The Conductor. Jesus.
Yeah, that is a piece.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing, sometimes I laugh, like when they were doing the whole thing on the Conductor for the Helix pieces, I was laughing. I think we both were, because we're like, the amount of hype behind a knob was incredible. Like, people were so excited about getting a knob. Yeah. But the reason for it is, it's like, integration wise, it's wonderful because it's simple, it's easy, it's easily installed in a vehicle without 10,000 layers of fab. So yeah, I can get. It just was funny that's what we found. Like, oh my gosh, a knob.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? How you doing? How are you doing, Fernando?
I'm wonderful.
You're wonderful?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm choking over here. But
I know.
My throat is done.
I know.
Cool need 1 foot company work truck. There you go.
Yeah.
I have a Conductor, and it is nice. Exactly.
It is nice. You know, for what it does and everything is cool. Like you say, just like make it work.
Hold that for me, will you?
Where you going?
I'm tired of looking at these Tootsie Rolls. And my throat is killing me, so it's gonna be fun doing 2 hours of live show tonight. I think I'll be drinking a lot.
A lot of water?
A lot of water. You can put it on yourself.
I don't want to put it on myself. I'm not a camera guy. I get shy.
You need help.
Well, that's besides the point.
Another Jeep. It's always another Jeep. Another Jeep, another F-150.
All the time, man.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Fernando's a beast at wiring.
You're a badass.
He's okay.
Yeah, you know. Some days are better than the others.
Yesterday was fun.
Dude, yes.
Did you
1 hour left.
Did you take a picture of that?
No.
You did all that work and you didn't take a picture of it.
It happens, man.
Oh my gosh.
What's the hype on the Conductor or the Director?
What is the hype?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there again, the problem that you run into when you have a DSP is some people like to be able to interface with it, meaning most people are like, get in the car, turn on the radio, listen to sound, and they're good. Some people want to have presets for different types of music they listen to. Some people want to run multiple sources, meaning they want to have like the factory radio, but then they want to have a high-res player, or they want to have a digital player. So these devices allow you to interface with the DSP. Mm-hmm. The problem is that it can, they're big screens that they're hard to put in places. So the Conductor is just a circular knob, very similar to what JL has done for years. Mm-hmm. It's nothing new, but it has LEDs around it, and you can do a lot of programming with it in order to set it up to control and interact with your Helix device. So from that regards, it can go into the vehicle and not just be this eyesore of a screen or an afterthought. It can be integrated in and or hidden that gives you access to those features. Now, if those features aren't anything you want, which most of the time they're not, then you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But so 90-degree wiring is bad, right? But why do people do? I read that whole thing. Someone wrote a whole thing on 90-degree wire, bending wires, and I'm like, dude, you're on crack.
It's not.
Okay. I feel there's application, and then there's people that talk about stuff. Meaning they don't actually do anything on a daily basis. They just talk about stuff, or they've read something somewhere, or whatever. There again, anything I talk about or tell you guys, it's because we do it. Meaning, and not do we don't just do one. We've done hundreds of them. We've done years of them. So when it comes to hola, when it comes to what some people say, I just kind of brush it off most of the time. Yeah. It's like, okay, show me your resume and how many you've done, and if it's there, great. Then we can have that conversation. If it's not, and you're just talking about something you've talked about before, then it's like, okay, I'll listen. But then I'll conveniently go, okay, and turn around and walk away. But I'm always open to having conversations with people that know what they're talking about, because to me, that's how you learn. So I read the whole conversation, and I took from it whatever, it's like, okay, it's not going to change the way I do things, but, could try. But yeah, there's doers and there's talkers. Adding a conductor to my Helix Ultra with, oh yeah, there you go. I think it's a cool thing. To me, it's just, I would buy it just because it controls my subwoofer, let's be honest. No, I meant was the hype on the director or the conductor? Oh, okay, it was on the conductor because the conductor was just being released. So
the director is the screen.
Yeah. So the conductor had just come out, and it was something that the Helix guys have been asking for, and Larry Penn, the director of MSC, or the owner of MSC, the distributor for the product, put together a contest, and a bunch of guys got involved with it and made integration and took pictures, and it was a lot of fun.
Actually, Arturo made it to the one of the top. That they make the conductor.
Yeah, he won a prize. They gave away some cool stuff, which I like. I feel as a manufacturer, anytime a manufacturer can get involved. Dave Cause took it and put it in his Mini Cooper's gear shifter. That was insane.
Really?
That was pretty cool. I don't know how practical it is, but it looked really cool. I don't think I'd want it for a customer, but I definitely... conductor is awesome. No. All right, I gotta get a drink.
No. It's really cool. I don't remember if Arturo put it in the Volkswagen or in the F-150, but he did a cool one too.
Arturo's okay.
Arturo's okay?
He's okay. I there will always be a special place in my heart for Arturo.
Oh, Arturo is the best.
I am bummed that he's not going to be in Dallas. That just bums me out.
He lives in Dallas. He's going to be in Dallas.
Yeah, but he's going to be in a hospital bed, so that's not the same. I'm going to be sad. I'll do the whole prayers thing, cool, but I like, oh, man. Some people are just excited to see. He's one of them. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. We can do stand-up night again. The Crazy Gringo tells stories night.
Hey, Dean.
Yes, sir.
Is the Metro adapter?
Is the Metro good enough for the Morel 6x9s, the Tacoma door, or should I get thicker adapters due to the depth of those speakers?
Tacoma.
Is it a Tacoma? Yeah, Tacoma. Yeah, it's Tacoma.
What kind of Morel?
The Morel 6x9s. The big ones.
Okay.
Fernando gives it 2 thumbs up. They should be fine.
You foam the bag in the front if you have some foam.
Put sound treatment all over it. Sound treatment it up.
Yeah.
I just installed one. Okay. Oh, yeah. Positive vibes are being in the hospital sucks. Oh, no doubt, right? I think yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. But, no, yeah. Hospital does suck. Any installers recommended in Arizona? Dave Cause. I don't know where he works. It's just Cause. Look for Cause Creations. K-O-Z.
Signature Audio.
See? Man, this guy's on point. Signature Audio. Check him out.
Just
Well, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay.
Yes, exactly.
You might want to contact them and see who they have do all their other work. But one of the best fabricators that I've had the pleasure of spending any amount of time with is Dave Goss.
A lot of talent. Oh my God.
I mean, not to take away. Okay. I like the fact that we get to talk to so many industry people and meet some of these guys because, you know, they do such amazing work. The problem is a lot of them just don't know how to talk about themselves.
For me, it's like you walking into these places, right? And for the first time, it's like you don't know who is this guy.
Yeah.
But you saw the pictures of his work.
See, fortunately for me, I met Dave long before I knew how good Dave was.
Okay, so there you go. For you, it's like, okay, holy shit, that's Dave.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wow.
Yeah.
But for me, I was watching the pictures before, and I'm like, oh my God. And then it's like,
oh my God,
buddy.
That's Ricardo.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the tallest Latino I've ever met.
It's like, hey, what's that?
I can always find the group of Latinos by looking for Ricardo. But Fernando will be around them. And it's like the Super Star Destroyer with all the little X-Wing, or all the little TIE fighters flying around.
Pew, pew,
Pew, pew, pew. What's up, Dean?
SPL.
Hertz SPL. Yeah, SPL shows the way to go. What do you recommend for SPL? The Rockford Fosgates or the SPLs? I don't even know if Rockford currently...
I don't think they...
I thought they stopped making those. I don't know. They might. I don't know. I thought they did away with most of their SPL line because it just wasn't moving. It sounded phenomenal. But
I don't know. Maybe you got a call.
Either way, no.
I
forget it. I'd still go with the SPL shows. Yeah, those are really nice. Tootsie Rolls. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, listen, guys. It's almost that time. We're going to get out of here. Just to recap, tonight is Thursday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, over on the Hi-Fi Network, Hi-Fi Vega Network, Reverse Polarity. You want to check that out. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about car audio. And then also, SideJag 945. We're going to talk about Demolition Man. Hold on.
Before you go, any style recommendation on Tennessee?
Titan's the only guy I know. There's other people there, but...
It's not Sage in Tennessee?
Sage is the good guys. Good guys are in Tennessee, too.
There you go.
Good guys, car audio. Thank you, Sage. Yeah, good call. All right, guys. We'll see you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Ooh, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips, the news. We didn't do it last week. We got a lot of news to catch up on, I hope. And
3C shows. I like that one.
Yeah.
Is that how it's done?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Just gonna hope
Off.
it just comes off.
Of course. I'm a pro in this thing, man.
Well, you are a battery pro.
Yeah, I broke 2. No, 1.
We broke one. We had to drive all over town to find one. Hey, Natasha. It's Natasha.
That's gonna be nice.
So we found out today, guys, that apparently some badass amplifiers are sitting in a box at somebody's house. We've been waiting to see these amplifiers for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excited.
And I know you guys have been waiting to see these amplifiers for a while, but they're not here. They're nowhere here. But we would like to have them here so we could play with them, and then we'll give them back, of course. Haha. But what time y'all close? We close usually between 6 and 6:30. Today we're trying to get this Chevy pickup truck done. Hold on. Let me go over here. I'm waiting on Fernando. It's his last time. Hang on. Need to go in here and turn off the air compressor. I had to turn on. Believe it or not, we don't use it all that much anymore. But here's what this got, for those of you curious. So we have the kicker, the CX 1200, and we have the new CS 4-channel. In case you're wondering, yes, these are both upside down. And the reason for that is that the power wire needed to come off this side because it's a kit that he provided us with, the Stinger kit, and we wanted to make, shipping out. Oh, you guys might get to find out what we were just talking about, those cool secret amplifiers. Oh boy, and you can guess who they're coming from. Anyways, so these guys, subs, mids and highs, and what we're trying to do is get it done because he's from out of town, and obviously we don't want him to have to stay, so Paul was nice enough to not bug us all day long today. Could you believe that? Like, no phone, no walking over here 20 times. The only person we actually talked to today
right now
was Natasha.
Yes.
Which was the high point of the day. Definitely the high point of the day. So, anyways, so what this got for speakers, if you guys know, these are the Exelons, the 6902Cs. Went into the front, the matching Exelon 6.5, 6 or 6 something. Anyways, went in the back, so we got that. Kept the factory radio. Went with the DSR1 AR'd using the DGM3 harness. Bass knob is located right here with the little sticker that Rockford gives you. He wanted it here, but it just wasn't gonna. It didn't fit right. So to me, it looks way sexier here. It's totally functional, a little light stay, drilled holes, all that. He didn't want to drill the hole. But believe it or not, this one piece actually comes out, and it's like all this stuff detaches from it. So it's an easy enough piece to replace if you need to replace it. It's not all this giant thing. Anyways, we got really far on this today. We didn't think we were getting nowhere near this far. So that means...
Thanks to me.
Yes, you're a super trooper. Sub amp, highs amp. Of course, all the wiring is super sexy. But what we're waiting on is our factory GPS better or aftermarket ones. Your phone is the best GPS. Something with CarPlay or Android Auto. If you need a GPS though, aftermarket wise, you want to pick up a Garmin. They work awesome. That would be a Kenwood. So, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to update all of them, but the factory ones just don't seem to make sense to update. And okay, so why the amplifiers are mounted upside down is because we needed to get these wires as close to this battery as possible. And these are the maximum lengths of the wire. So there's no it made it to here, which is perfect because that kept us right in line with the battery. So these come through the battery case and attach right here. So good to go there.
Yep.
But if we would have flipped them the other way, the wires would have ended right here, bad. So sometimes you have to sacrifice in order to, and the nice thing is they're going to be behind the seats. We would clearly never do that at a place where you're going to see them. But in this case, and if you were going to see them, what we would have done is, come up with something to just flip it. But yeah, so it's all good, but they look nice. Got the speed wire coming off. It all tucks in, goes down. Car's all back together.
It's not bad, man.
No, I mean,
because if you see it like this, it looks nice.
You're mental.
Yeah.
You guys go do 2018 Nissan Armada. I don't think so. Armadas aren't, like, I haven't honestly seen an Armada on the road.
Oh, really?
A newer one?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't ever see them.
Okay, it looks like. I know.
Dude, listen. When I've never seen one. Nissans are just not that popular. The SUVs, cars, yes.
I think it's a Pathfinder.
Yeah, I don't know. We just don't see it. Looks clean. Thank you, Victor. Hopefully, looks like a nice install. Just throw another kicker sticker on the amp. Yeah, exactly. But we still got 2 big seats to go over the top of them, so we got nothing to worry about there. New IQ 5 channels? No. There will be no, that's safe enough to say. Kicker has come out and said that. So the Q class, done. There is going to be nothing as of right now that we know of to replace it. That's just, they're going in a different direction. Sound treatment in this was a negative. However, he did do fast strings on front and rear. When we do fast strings, I believe Fernando's mentioned it, he puts a piece of roadkill or sound treatment, whatever sound treatment we have, behind the fast string so that when he does decide to upgrade to the sound treatment. So everything we did in here, we could still add sound treatment. The fast strings, they're totally, everything can be removed. We can do sound treatment, put it back on. So we always, when you get fast rings, we'll put a little piece of sound treatment behind the bumper in the back, the little plug, so that you can actually have no problem update it to that. Audio control doing any mini DSP. I gotta be honest, no, not that I'm aware of. The stuff that we know that audio control is coming out with, which we don't know everything. We believe it or not, we don't have an NDA signed with them, so they just ask us not to say stuff and allow this. No, that's. I don't really think we need it. If we're making a dream list for audio control, I don't want a mini DSP. I want a DSP Pro. I want a DSP. I like the current DSP. The current DSP is awesome, but I want one that has full stupid. So like double the money, full stupid. When using audio control DSP, maxed out input gain and keep the amp gains low, or keep the audio control DSP 0 dB, set gains on I like to keep the gains low on the amplifiers. But not like, I like a balance between the two, but preferably lower. It just seems to work better that way. Passive crossover networks used. Yeah, it's okay. 0 dB gain on the amps. Normal test tones. Yeah, normal test tones. I spoke with iData today, and they don't have anything for Honda Ridgeline. I could have told you that. You just go to their website. iData doesn't do anything for Hondas. That's anything new, anyways. That's on their whiteboard of things to do. So at least I get told every time I talk to them about it. Greetings, Earthling. It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen your show in months. Well, it's nice that you're back. We've been here and there and everywhere, man. Vertus nanocarbon 602s in stock? Yes, actually we do have a pair. I was playing with them yesterday. Might be the 3-way set, though. I don't know if we have... it might be the 2-way. You might have both, but yes, I know we had some in the other day.
Well, just call.
Just give them a call. We were just talking to Natasha about those today and how incredible they are.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them to do some kind of event in Dallas for Knowledge Fest, because we think that would be spectacular. And one of the things that we want them to do is for the industry. I know a lot of you guys aren't in the industry, and I apologize, but is have a listening set up there so that, because a lot of people ask what's the difference, and most people haven't heard them, dealers included. So allowing dealers to hear them so that they can better represent the product is,
Don't
cool.
believe me, just watch.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
The clock is really bright. I have to squint to see it. That's what I have to do. If you ever see me doing this, it's so I can read the clock. If you're too close to it, it's like it's so bright. I mean, it's just on god awful bright, and that's at like half brightness. But we can see it from outside, so that's what really matters. Hi, I'm back. Would the kicker clear the grill of the kicker panel or of the Jeep JL using the Metra? They fit the pods perfectly, just not sure about excursion and clearing. Oh, hang on. Cancel. The JL. I think so. So, I mean, we've in the JL Jeep, it's the passenger side that's the hard one, and we've fit the, I mean, if we could fit the full cow, you can definitely fit a kicker. Yeah. You just gotta, on the inside of the plastic, the little ribs that we've talked about, you have to remove those. So when you're on the passenger side, when you fold down the glove box, stick your finger around it like this, and you'll feel these little pieces of 1/8-inch plastic honeycomb pattern or square pattern back there. We always just take a razor blade and remove all those to get us that extra 1/8 of an inch. And that seems to do fine. Dean, favorite thing at Universal Studios? Ooh, have you been? You've been to Universal, right?
Not lately, but no.
I mean, the favorite thing to look at is definitely Harry Potter, and I always get a butterbeer because that's phenomenal. I mean, the Hagrid. Okay, easy enough. The Hagrid ride. If the Hagrid motorcycle ride is by far the best ride in the park.
Okay.
Haley likes the Men in Black ride and the Mummy roller coaster. Those are her two favorite.
The Raptor.
The Velocisaurus or something like that. That's the scariest ride in the world.
That would be that, yeah.
That's the scariest ride. Well, they asked me what my favorite ride is.
Oh,
so that's, you know.
That's
You haven't been on the Velociraptor. Haley has. And she was like, bro, that's intense.
There you go.
know,
So I like
so-
that.
For Tour 602s, I want a mid-range to go with it. Which model mid-range has the same? Sounds like you're... Well, they make the Virtus 603s.
Mm-hmm.
You just get the Virtus 603. I think it's like the CDM 600 is the one that comes in the box, I believe. But if you have the 602s, I believe it's the CDM 6... Yeah, I think that's it. It's the 3.5-inch dome mid-range that they make. I don't know if it's in there. I just had to look them up the other day. It might be in there. Fernando's getting the brochure down because he's smart. Merry Christmas, Dean and Fernando. Happy Hanukkah. I'm at Universal Studios now. There you go,
Nice.
Bobby. Walking those stairs.
Nice.
Jesus.
What are
Dude,
we talking about?
the stairs, Nanos, Virtus, one more.
Virtus Nanos.
No, just a regular Virtus.
No.
But that mid-range there would probably be the one to go with. Do they? They go back one page?
This is the hybrids.
They just have the hybrids.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have it in here. Do they give
The
the model
regular
number for
Virtus
that?
is in
No,
here.
that's fine. Do they give the model number for that?
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. Just go to their webpage. They do a really good job. MorelHiFi.com.
Mm-hmm.
They give you all the part numbers there, and it's real easy to find. Okay, on the Honda card, when I turn the car off, I get a loud boom sound. I put noise filters. It worked. Hold on. I get a loud boom sound. I put a noise filter. It worked. Would me just using the brown wire on the LP72 work instead, or audio control ground isolation? The audio ground isolation should be what you're talking about. The brown wire is to add a ground, which you don't want to do. So yes, switching out to the audio control like the LCQ1 be a good idea. LOL. Hey, Dean and Fernando.
Hey, what's up?
What speakers produce the cleanest mid-range? I read that just because I hate myself, and that's not even a question. I mean, they all produce the cleanest mid-range if that's the mid-range you like to hear. What is the definition of the cleanest mid-range? It's like that question just doesn't even make sense.
No.
I mean, if you want like the best 3.5, the Illusion right
No, but,
there,
like,
$700.
It doesn't matter if you have the Illusion and you don't know how to like.
Well, if you
tune
don't,
it,
well, I mean,
or-
I'm just okay, but that wasn't the question. The
No, but
question
I'm just
was,
saying,
hey,
okay.
what is the best mid-range, and how do I get it to sound the best?
All right, you have that,
You know,
but if you don't know, it's
it,
gonna sound
for all
horrible.
we know, he's got a power acoustic radio and
Well, it depends.
a Beat Sonic amplifier, and he wants the best mid-range. I don't know. It could be. Could be crazy. I have a loud pop for my subs, most times opening my door in the morning on the 06 F-150. Any ideas it would be? It's a turn-on pop. It's just a turn-on pop. You're opening your door, you're waking up your car, it's sensing the DC offset, and it's turning on the amplifier. It really just depends on the amplifier. There's a lot of things that could cause that. The make of the amplifier, how high the gain is, the grounds. There's a lot of weird things that can do that. But yeah, you might want to try switching it to the passenger side of the car.
Correct.
That's just a thought. You also might want to try, if the amplifier is using the DC offset or signal sense, you may want to go to an external high-level to low-level adapter, kind of like what Abraham was asking about. I get about 10 minutes. I get 10 miles of walking, dude. And that Dude, well, I've told you about the universal escalators, the escalators from hell. Yeah. Is there a way you can show a close-up of what you cut on your favorite Jeep double din dash kit? I don't have one over here right now. I think we did that though in a video. There's got to be a Jeep dash that we did that on. I know we went up close on one.
Yeah, because you normally explain all that
stuff. Yeah, there's definitely one there. I know there is. My Bluetooth mic sounds quiet and has a lot of background noise when I call, and people say I sound quiet, and suggestions. If you've gone into the settings for the radio and you've maxed them all out, try moving the microphone closer to you. So if it's up by the mirror, move it over to the corner of the A-pillar. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that'll work too. If there's a bunch of road noise coming off, sometimes you can move it to the top of the steering column. So in one of the corners there.
Or maybe if that's a Kenwood just release 2 updates.
Yes, also good call.
One for the...
check your firmware on your radio.
Yeah, they have 2. So it's one for the regular and one for the...
Okay. Casey has chimed in here as far as the Virtus Nano MM2 is the mid-range in the 3-way set. So that would be the guy you'd want to listen to. That's Natasha's husband, in case you guys wanted to know. He's the guy. He's the one that knows stuff. She's just fun to talk to. Anyways, yeah, so that would be the mid-range you'd want in that. Yeah. And if you can't get it, let us know. We can order one and ship it to you. Not me, Paul. I won't do that. But they don't always sound the same. My ears and your ears are different. Not a chance. My ears and yours are identical. I mean, look at those. Don't those look just like your ears? Those are totally your ears, man. I got like the... Haley hates it because she's got my ears. They're big and they stick off the side of her head. So she's like, I can't wear a hat because it shows my ears. I'm like, who cares? Dean, how in the heck do I cut plastic at home for an amp rack? Well, okay, so it depends on the kind of plastic you're trying to cut. If you're getting ABS, that's going to suck. Because I can tell you right now, even if you get a plastic cutting bit, which is what these are, all it does is heat up and melt back together. So you kind of like have to do it twice and or do it to where you plan on sanding it back out. Now, if you're using just like 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch or like blown PVC, believe it or not, a straight edge and a razor knife will get you pretty far.
Like, it's going to take time, but...
Yes, yeah. Obviously, you don't have a router because that would be the best way to do it. But, yeah, that's all I got.
Car.
Yeah. Time to buy some tools.
There you go.
Rowby. Huh? Cheap tools. Or just go to the cheap tool store. You can pick up like a whole set for $100.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a use for a center channel without a 2-seat tune, center channel or rear fill? So it's funny. I'm not really going to answer that question in the way you want me to, but just now I had a customer come in that had Nissan Titan with Rockford Fosgate system. As it turns out, he's partially deaf in his right ear. That'd be this one, which looks like my left ear right now. So the funny thing is it has a center channel, it has 2 mid-range and 2 tweeters. He's partially deaf in this ear. The problem he's having is the 5 speakers on the right side of his head are producing most of the vocal. He's used to being able to hear all the sound coming in his left ear from the left corner of the car.
I understand.
Which now with the center channel, because the main vocal is directed there, it's upmixed, he can't hear the main vocal. So he hates it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, well, that makes total sense. So he wants an old school left and right stereo. But Nissan doesn't give you the ability to turn off the surround sound. So he's pretty much screwed without like going crazy and changing everything out. So, do I think a center channel is useless without a 2-seat tune? No, I don't. I really don't. The Camaro, we didn't have a 2-seat tune, and we had a center channel. It just added more depth to the center channel. I didn't have it do much, but it was there. Given the option, though, when we were going to upgrade the stereo, the center channel was going to come out. It wasn't there. It wasn't necessary. I'm a proponent, though, going forward in the future. Like right now, it's hard because there's not a lot of manufacturers making multi-channel amplifiers that can power a center channel. So, like, we don't have a cool 5-channel amplifier that is 3x70, 2x or 3x100 or 3x70, 2x120 that would make like an awesome rear fill / three-way across the front amplifier.
You're just dreaming.
I'm just dreaming. Once these guys wake up and start doing that, realizing that all these cars have center channels, then I think we can have a different conversation. Because if a lot of people, I have a speaker, I want it to play mentality, it's not worth arguing with them if you've already given them the pitch like, hey, we really don't need that, we can do this. Like, well, no, I have a speaker, I want it to work. All right, well, so here we are. But we're waiting, unfortunately for us, we're waiting for these manufacturers to start doing this. There are some solutions.
Oh, no, there are some
obviously,
solutions
Helix
right now.
makes gigantic multi-channel amplifiers.
Yeah,
ARC has some. Audison has some. Have these 8-channel amplifiers that we can do these things with.
And you can do multiple channels. It's just more money.
Yes. So we don't really have a consumer price point friendly option right now for that.
Yes,
so like if you get a base model F-150 and you're just looking to do a nice upgrade to it and it has that crappy center channel in it, which isn't really doing anything, it's just a left and right monoed center channel. It's not an upmixed or anything like that. Well, then no, that's a waste. There's no point in even keeping it. Honestly, I would just disconnect it, get it out of there, because all it's doing is just screwing everything else up. But if you could do it properly, that would be wonderful. But we're not, that's not the world we live in right now.
That would be a stereo channel.
Yeah. My MTI box just came in, loaded with 2 JL TW3s. Super stoked. You should be. That thing is going to jam, as Michael Jackson says. Is there any way to upgrade the head unit 2015 VW GTI with the fender system? Don't see any aftermarket support, and there isn't any aftermarket support. No, not keeping the fender system. Not right now, no, because that's a digital system, so no one's making a go-between that I'm aware of. The best meter speaker is not the one I think is the best, not what you think is the best. Yeah, that's true too. Sound is the phrase I hate the most. Sound is subjective. Oh God, like it's like the biggest. No, sound is sound. Sound is always the same. It's just how you would like it portrayed compared to how I would like it portrayed. A ball bouncing is going to sound like a ball bouncing. It always sounds that way. It's just you might be like, oh, that sounds too tinny, and I'll be like, oh, that's not tinny enough. It's just my preference.
Put more air.
Put more air in it. Yeah. I have a factory system with an LC7i to an amp to a sub. Sub's rated 400 watts RMS, but I get clipping around 250. Is there a reason? Well, gain. When you say 250, how do you know it's 250? Have you measured? Are you measuring the output voltage of the amplifier? So are you running a test tone?
250.
And seeing that you're only getting 250 when it's clipping. The other thing too is source unit. What is it doing? It's all gain. It's all gain.
If you have an RTA,
it's all gain. The whole thing is a gain issue. Yeah. There's a gain turned up too high before it's getting to the amplifier. So you probably would have to turn it down. Yeah, it's just all gain. Like the radio is, there's something funky there. Or you just don't have a really good amplifier. And so, there are plenty of amplifiers that say they're 400 watt amplifiers that aren't actually 400 watt amplifiers.
What?
I know, that's crazy.
Nah.
I know. I know. I've heard rumors.
Nah.
I've heard rumors.
It's not true. Using a multimeter to set the amp gain voltage never reaches what the mat says. It should even turn all the way up. Shitty amp or something at least is going on.
My guess is most of the time it's a crappy amp. It's 100% it's going to be a crappy amp. One of the things, because they're not putting fuses on the side of amplifiers anymore, which sucks, because that was always the dead giveaway. You buy a 400 watt amp with a 15 amp fuse on it. It's kind of like, or a 30 amp fuse for that matter. It's like, there's no way that can draw 30 amps of current and put out 400 watts. Yeah. When you don't put a fuse on the side of the amplifier, then you can lie and say whatever you want. Oh, this amplifier needs to have 50 amps of fusing underneath the hood, because they know as well as we do, the fuse underneath the hood is not to protect the amplifier, it's to protect the wires. So they can just say anything they want. You'd have to put a clamp on it and see what the actual current consumption is, at max volume, and then you'd be like, oh, wow, like this amp is only putting out this. And there again, you can do the same thing. If you play a 40 hertz test tone and you look at the output voltage of the amplifier and you are only getting, 20 volts, then you're only getting 400 watts. If the amplifier says it's an 800 watt amp, that ain't an 800 watt amp, even if you're clipping the shit out of it. So there's, that's the purpose of the amp dyno. The amp dyno's sole purpose is to be like, hey, does my amplifier put out rated power? And it doesn't.
Yeah.
I really don't have an opinion on the audio pipe stuff. We've sold it here before, but we've never installed it. He just sells it over the counter there, so we don't ever really get to deal with it too much. Trinidad in the house.
Yeah.
MTX 10 sub. What's your take on it, man? It's funny. MTX is one of those companies that like I haven't seen anything from in a long time. I know they're still around, but it's just like it's so off the radar, which is weird because they used to be like on the radar back in the day. So I don't know. It's one of those.
They're still making stuff and everything.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, when's the last time you saw something MTX?
In Dallas.
You saw something?
Yeah.
Really?
That was MTX in there.
They were?
Yeah.
News to me. I didn't even know that. Well, if they're there this year, I will pay attention to it and we'll go talk to them.
Liar.
No, of course I will. You kidding me? I want to talk to everybody. We're not going to have much time, but we're going to talk to anybody we can. Is the audio control AC, D, is it worth it? That's something you're going to have to decide.
Yeah, it is.
Do I like the amplifier? Totally love the amplifier. Is it one of our go-to amps? Yes, we sell tons and tons of them. But value is something you have to decide on. I'm not going to spend your money for you. Choice of amps to run Morel hybrids.
It's plenty of options.
I would go, since we just talked about the audio control, I'd go with the audio control. It's on my mind right now, yeah. Okay, so we're doing a three-way set. You got the LC 61200. If you're just going to do a two-way set, front, rear, you can do hybrids up front, hybrids in rear. You can do the 4.800, the D or the LC, whichever one you want. 120 watts, plenty of power. We've used them to power them before. It sounds good. The Morels will eat that power all day long. So I would always go bigger on those. Definitely I would go bigger.
The 5-channel amplifier, you're going to do,
front stage and a sub, front stage upgrade. Yeah, that would work.
Nobody cares about the rears, but...
Nobody cares about the rears. And the 5-channel has a 10-time multiplier switch. You can go full active with it. Yeah, so you can do tweeter 1 and 2, mid-range 3 and 4. So it's got a bandpass for 3 and 4. Yeah, that would work. Is it time? It's time to go. Hey guys, listen, it's time to go. We'd love to stay here and keep answering your questions.
That's awesome.
What?
His Roku stick is working perfectly fine.
Awesome. It's always nice when things actually work. Yep. All right, guys, listen, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in for 5 Minutes with 5-Star. If you didn't catch the news this morning, make sure you head over to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips and check the news. Morel throwing up the love. We love you more.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We are going to be seeing them in Dallas. They're going to have a car there by the one and only Joey Knapp, who is in my mind, one of the best fabricators. And he's located here in Lake City, Florida, which is hilarious. But he's a great guy. He's doing their car, so they're going to import it into Dallas. And of course, like anything, it's a cool car, so we're going to do a video on it, so you guys will be able to see it.
If you guys are going to be there in Dallas, just to stop by at the Morel booth, so you guys can see it. And
more to come.
You can hear it.
More to come. Always more to come. Totally. Always excitement. Always thrills, action, and adventure. You guys have a great rest of your day. We're out. Bye.
Bye, guys.
I don't know. Maybe. Could be. I know Jeff had to go somewhere. Might be now.
I think so.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. Ark is there.
Who?
Ark.
Is it? Is it in Texas?
Oh.
Oh, that's weird. Is it in like Ohio or something? Or
Washington? Maybe?
Oh.
New Cumbler. Where's New Cumbler?
I don't even think that's a word.
No?
We need to turn off the TV up front.
Cumberland.
Sure. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 5 Minutes with 5-Star. It is 5:30 right now, which means in a half hour, we'll be answering your questions live on YouTube. That's right. It's the 6 o'clock show, Car Stereo Talk, as it is. Tonight we're going to be doing a special thing. A couple weeks ago, we got in some German Maestro speakers, and we unboxed them quickly on Instagram. But tonight we're going to go full crazy and take a look at them. You guys can ask us questions. These are the SV6509s. So we'll be opening those up and taking a look at them with this particular camera here. We're trying out this rig today to see how it works. But yeah, that's what's happening here in a little bit. Did you get a chance? Why is my finger in the shot? Did you get a chance to watch any of the interviews we got to do?
Not yet.
Not yet? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you were busy doing your own. What is that? Oh yeah, those. Yeah, I've
Dude,
seen those.
This is cool.
Yeah. Those are kind of cheap though. What about the kicker amps? What about kicker amps? There's no new kicker amps at the moment, so I don't know what kicker amps you're referring to. But what would you like to know about them?
Yeah.
Hey guys, how about a happy birthday shout out to my husband George, aka Mama Always Said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he always say like that. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, George.
Maybe we should remember to do that at 6.
All right.
You want to write that down?
I'm gonna write it down right
As I say, Mama Always Said. So we'll give him a shout out. So it's George. SMD DD1 or DD1 Plus, which one should I go with? And that's a tough one. I mean, the nice thing about the Plus is it's kind of future-proofing yourself. If you decide, like if you're a professional or you're looking to do a professional or you have a really good side gig going on, and you start to understand more and more about what gain overlap is and how it affects things, then the Plus is definitely much nicer to have because it gives you the ability to pick any gain overlap you want as opposed to just, 5 or 10. From that side of things, it's definitely better to go with the Plus. I guess hopefully that answers. Hey, do you recommend using position on stereo? I mean, if you're referring to the basic time alignment, the position setting.
On the radio?
Kenwood does a really good job of their position. Like if you pick driver's front seat, it's pretty on point. It's funny. It does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Pioneer is backwards. So if you're going for the driver's side, set it up for the passenger side. But yeah, go for it. I mean, it gets you in the ballpark. You just turn it off. Yeah. I know it's one of those things where you have in your mindset, like, if I don't do it the hard way and put these numbers in, it's going to suck. No. And then you just try it and you're like, wait a minute, this actually sounds pretty good. No, it actually sounds pretty good. Just roll with it. You don't necessarily always have to do the hard stuff.
You can keep playing.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Do you recommend the old MB Quartz? They sounded real legit. What is the current that sounds bright like the... I honestly don't know. I was not a big MB Quartz user back in the day. So, we are going to get them on. German Maestro is actually the company that is responsible for them being here in the United States is fortunately for us here in Florida. So we are going to have them on and we'll be able to talk to them. So for me, it makes more sense to get them from the horse's mouth. We're going to unbox these today because for those of you that are MB Quartz fans, hopefully seeing them, letting them touch them, show them to you, doing kind of a deep dive, being able to answer your questions as far as about the products. Like if we have the information here, we're planning on giving it to you. But we want to get them on to tell their story, to explain the whole Rockford, Maxsonic, process, circle of life, what happened in the name, where the name is, what's going on, who's got what, who sued who, and then the whole Merry Christmas of joy that happened there. And then, of course, let them talk to us about answering the tough questions because I'm not the most familiar guy with MB Quartz, so that it doesn't do me any good to pretend like I know everything there is to know about them. I'm going to learn just like you guys. So part of the joy of this is allowing us to introduce you guys to cool people. In the process, we also introduce ourselves to cool people.
Yeah.
I mean, we always got to learn, right? That's why we always try to interview cool people. Focal Universe 5x7 is pretty good for an F-150. An older F-150? Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, they'll fit. Get that tweeter up top. I've been watching a lot of your YouTube videos. Oh my God, how things have changed. I used to work at Circuit City for 9 years in the install bay. Things have changed a lot.
I think they change every day, man.
Yeah, it gets exciting. What's up, guys? I'm gonna come see you today, but I started a new amp rack. That's okay, Christian. We were swamped, so I thought you were too. Natasha told me you were. You let me down. You didn't really. I'm joking. What component sets have the clearest, cleanest SQ tweeter? So clearest, cleanest makes me think that you want bright. Really, one of the things you want to look at is in a tweeter. Power handling isn't the most important thing. If you want a tweeter that's going to play a lot of sound, you want to look at the FS of the tweeter. You also want to pay attention to the efficiency of the tweeter. Those two things will tell you how loud they're going to be and also the lowest frequency that you can play it at. So you're going to take that FS and you're going to multiply it by 2. And if you're going to use a Linkwix Raleigh 24 dB per octave crossover, that's going to allow you to, that's going to give you an idea of how low you'll be playing them. That is going to tell you, like, if it's a good tweeter or a bad tweeter, if it's a tweeter that is going to play well up in the corner of the dash or further away from the mid-range because it carries a lot more sound. Metal tweeters like the Focal, they actually ask you to cross them over at like 5,000 Hertz, which is weird. You don't have to, but they recommend you do it for power handling because everyone always wants a gazillion watts of power on them. But as far as like who makes the best tweeter, I don't think that's something that I could honestly answer because no two tweeters sound the same. It's gonna be a long show tonight. My throat is killing me and my head is pounding. One thing to consider when looking at a tweeter, there's basically two types of tweeters. You have a hard dome, you have a soft dome. You have a hard dome tweeter that is going to be a... I don't like to use the word harsh, but I think you kind of get what I mean when I say hard dome versus soft dome. Hard domes can be cloth, they can be metal. Soft domes are going to be always going to be cloth, obviously, because you can't have a metal soft dome tweeter. Kind of metal isn't soft. But that hard tweeter, you know, when you have a stiffer structure there, it behaves differently with those higher, brighter notes. So just something to think about. Wow, I hope you plan on talking. What did you just eat? Oh man, that tickled my throat. Jesus. Oscar, what's up, buddy? Hola, amigos. Would you recommend a JL Audio subwoofer? Oh wow, that was neat. And a sealed enclosure ported. I go ported. Yeah. I like ported. But if we're talking like truck box style stuff, obviously sealed is going to be what you're going to end up with. If that's a TW, I don't know their numbers, but if it's like a regular woofer, ported is always cool. I like ported. I like big fat bass. I'm not gonna lie. You know? You other brothers could deny. Infinity 6x8 reference. Is it worth disconnecting the built-in tweeter and instead connecting the sail panel one that is Kenwood Exelon, but from a 2003 they still sing through this is bad mix match? No, it's not a bad mix match. You know, the thing that, like, okay, we all kind of agree that we get a little carried away at what could be right, wrong, or indifferent. Really, when it comes to sound, the one thing you got to keep in mind is, are you happy with it? That's it. That's all that matters. If you're happy with it, then that's your deciding factor. It doesn't matter what I think or what Fernando thinks or what the guy down the street thinks. You know, when I hop in a car and somebody says, dude, you got to hear this thing. This thing is incredible. And I sit in the car and I listen to it and I go, it's incredible to him, but not to me. And I'm not going to pull that from him because to him, this is exactly what he wanted. This is what he's built his stereo on. So there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter, you know, unless you're being judged. And if you're being judged, you've set yourself up for that. So right. I pity the fool.
Everybody's different.
Everybody is different. Yeah. You know, it depends your goals too. What are you trying to do? What's up?
The new sub and audio control LC arrived. Got the amp all set up. Had it set all back in business with bass. Nice. Gatlinburg Mountains cost big time. They do, and it's a crazy amount of people there. I haven't even got the bill yet, so I don't even ask. I don't even want to know what it is. My credit card was on fire. The most weird thing happened. I installed an R in a Jeep, and it would not give an accessory out to put new R in. It worked. That's not like the weirdest thing that's happened. Strange shit does. Oh, sorry, Fernando moment. Strange stuff does happen. It's just how it is. That's why I always stock more than one of anything. So I'll give it a try and let you know. Perfect. Hello from California. Kenwood dash cams rock. Kenwood dash cams do rock. Mm-hmm. That is for sure. Trust me, when you get, okay, so the Kenwood dash cam rocks until you use all the high-res cameras, and then you're like, oh, that don't look so good compared to, it's just an output problem. The camera is recording at high-res. It's just not displaying an output of high-res.
It's like you buying a radio and then you buy the 10.1 inch screen, and it's like, oh, wow.
What kind of wire do you use to power an Epicenter? The size of the wire is 18 gauge, just like remote turn on. But you're going to want a power ground and a remote. That's it. So, but yeah, 18 gauge remote turn on wire is all you need. Nothing fancy. I got a SCAR DDX12. Do I leave the rubber on? That's around the magnet. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. It's the bumper. It's not hurting anything. It's not going to make it get any hotter. It's just there so you don't break the magnet. So, I mean, I would never pull it off unless I'm like building some kind of weird box where it's going to get in the way. But otherwise, no, you leave it on. It's not going to overheat the woofer. Do you recommend subs to be front firing or rear firing in a Dodge Challenger? Rear. Only rear. Yeah, that needs to go backwards, in my personal opinion. Do you guys use the foam pads or knee pads? My knee's been killing me lately. You use yours all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did Fro send you those?
No, that was
Who sent you those?
El Fernandez.
El Fernandez, correct. El Fernandez, the man, said us these. Here's what we use, Oscar. Hold on, hold that up for me. Hold that up. Hold on, let me flip this around. This is what Fernando uses right here, the Pro Pad. Mm-hmm. So he uses this. Now, who sent you the big pad for the...
that was Jason.
That was Jason?
Over there in the back.
And then he's also got this if he needs to, like, lay down and... Because obviously there's a roll around, but then he also has this giant pad, so, like, as you can see, it's huge. So, yeah, Fernando's got his knee game down pat, even though he's wearing jeans. I'm old. I don't have a problem. My knees are just what they are. I'm a real man.
Just to break dance, man.
You need help. What time is it? Okay, we're doing good. What's the best thing to do with the wires for subwoofers when I have to remove it to haul something so the negative and positives don't touch anything? So what we do is we make a dressed end. Is I guess the easiest way to say it. So we put ferrules. We put the little wire ferrules on the ends like this, and then we take shrink wrap like this, and we only make them about yay long, like 2.5 inches long, and then there's another piece of shrink wrap, and then there's braided loom, and basically what that does is that hardens those wires up so that they stay apart, and it looks really nice as opposed to just stuff that's going to get caught on the carpet or anything like that. But that's what we do for our ends. We call it the finished end. Because, I've always hated just 2 speaker wires laying back there. They always get caught on something. You just put a rag back there, I guess, if you want to. But, the finished end is way nicer. Any recommendations to get some grill format for the Glowforge? Any recommendations to get some grill formats for the Glowforge? No. Most of those, the Mesh Man is the guy that does all designing and stuff like that. You could reach out to him, Meshman. I think it's meshman.com. But, when it just comes to that, you just got to kind of sit there and make your own.
there is a Glowforge user group. I believe it's and a laser community, 12-volt laser group you can join. That also helps for stuff like that. Nando and Dean, favorite colors?
Black.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your favorite color?
Yeah.
You hate black shirts, though.
No, I don't.
Really? You like black shirts?
That's my favorite color is black.
That sucks.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems like a bad color to choose.
Black goes with everything, man.
Yeah, but it just really. But
Yeah.
that's lame. Mine's gray.
color.
It's not much better, but yeah. I don't know. I just black. I just don't see that because you're such a like flamboyantly colors.
I have every color, but
Black.
my
though?
favorite color is black.
Ugh, God,
Yeah.
that sucks. 12-volt laser community? Yeah, you're not into that? I'll see, Oscar, I'll send you a thing.
Yeah.
I'll find it and it's on you. It's on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Glowforge.
Glowforge user group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glowforge user. Yeah.
Black makes you look skinnier.
That's right.
Dude, he weighs like 120 pounds anyways.
That's right.
So give me a break. You've seen him. He's tiny. Any old couch pillow works for your knees. Yeah, but it looks kind of cheesy. At some point, you want to look professional. A couch pillow, not the best
I mean, if
idea.
you're at home or you're doing something, like, yes, I would, whatever, right? But,
Yeah.
like, for here, no.
I mean, worst
If I
case,
grab a pillow, I'm going to go under
I'm
the
gonna
car
take a
and
nap.
take a nap.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no pillows around here, man.
No.
I mean, it's hard enough when you spread out like the packing blankets. Like for me, like if I'm doing a front camera, I'll put the full packing blanket down, just because I know I'm gonna be all over the front of that car. So that's a pain in the butt. He's had too much sugar. Dean, cut him off. Yeah, what
I
if
got
he?
water. I haven't eaten.
No,
nothing.
he's just excited because it's Saturday and he knows it's almost
Yes,
over.
man. That's it.
What's your opinion on Illusion Audio Love them. I mean, we've talked about there's the Illusion right there. That's their C3 CX or whatever, the 3.5. You know, that's it, man. That's your best 3.5 out there. They make awesome speakers. A set of those with the 8-inch, man, rock on for sure. No, Illusion's the bomb. It's nice stuff, expensive stuff, but nice stuff. But hey, you know, nothing's good. You gotta pay. Wow, that's it. All right, cool. Well, hey, listen, guys. Gear wrench. Yeah, there you go. What's the most exotic car you've had in the Bay? In this Bay, probably GT40, the Ford, not Mustang, but the little thing with the crappy top. That was a long time ago though. It's hard to get those kind of cars in here because they kind of scrape. Flynn Audio in the house. You enjoy your weekend too.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. I think he's up in Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. He does great, like social media stuff. I love it. Yeah, it's almost like he went to a class and like learned stuff. I don't think he did, but he's just always on port making commercials and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he does good work, which is also enough. Mr. Dean, what would be the best voltage to maintain running 4 Rockford Fosgate T2 13s on a Sound Digital 8K, 2-channel, 1 ohm monoblock? Any help would be great. Also have JY power 320 alternator. Well, if you're running a Sound Digital, like they don't need 14.4. You know, all their ratings are at 12.6. So I'm assuming if you're keeping your voltage somewhere around 13 volts, you're probably right where it needs to be. I mean, that would make the most sense because you don't want to, I think just keeping it right at 13 and it'll give you the power that's supposed to give you because they rate all their amps at 12.6 because of the fact that the batteries suck in Brazil. So, yeah, I would do that. That's my, I'm going to say guess because I don't own an 8K.
Right.
However, you could probably reach out to them and talk to Jacob. And he would definitely set you straight as far as that goes. But normally, obviously, someone from Sound Digital is on here, either Tommy Hu or Elias, but they're not today because it's the weekend and they have lives. Huge fans. Just wanted to thank you guys for all you do. And knowledge, advice, I've learned a lot. Thank you. You're welcome. Nando, when you gonna be on Haley's podcast? Also, when's Haley's first podcast? I haven't even told him about that. We haven't even talked about it. Yeah. Haley, all right, real quick. Nah, you know what? We'll talk about it another time because we gotta get ready for the show. So we'll see you guys in a little bit over on YouTube. Car Stereo Talk. It's gonna be live at 6 o'clock. You know the deal. We'll see you at 6.
Bye guys.